So here we are. After another amazing season of Steel Division League, this is it where it all got us to. Gonzo versus Karma once again. And no, I didn't change my shirt for it again after the semifinals, only because I put coffee on my shirt, but because this game deserved another shirt change. So here we go. Game of the games of Season 4. Karma versus Gonzo in an amazing best of 5. Let's go. Karma, did he got good enough to finally overcome his nemesis and beat Gonzo in a final? We will see in the next 4, 5, maybe 7 games if they tie 2 times. Let's see how crazy it gets. Maybe we'll see the first tie in a Steel Division League game. Who knows? But what we know is that they fight about quite a bit of money. Because the winner of them, as of now, gets $97.34. And that can go even bigger. And that can go even bigger thanks to you guys. Because already quite a couple of nice guys gave quite a bit of money or helped out by just putting in some links. For example, putting in the code Sherman to add 50 cents to the prize pool gave you this lovely way. And then using the links on the side also helps getting this some couple more cents into the prize pool. And if you feel really generous, you can also obviously contribute money directly, like these amazing folks did: Jackal Rush, FMOL, Mr. Sean, Mr. Gove, and quite a couple others. So thanks to all of these guys. We are where we are right now with this season, and it's really amazing to see all the support from you guys. So before we go into the finals series, thanks again to all of you for supporting us. We are viewing, we are helping out with the tournament, we are giving money to the, or just by giving us amazing series through to playing in the league itself. With all of that, let's jump into the series, into this amazing best of 5. And let's see what you guys think, who will win this as well, as we go into the game of the games. Gonzo versus Karma. And we're already here with an interesting series. 3rd Fallschirmjäger versus 3rd Canadian. Gonzo versus Karma on the lovely map that is... oh god. Good start as well. When I'm really standing... oh boy. Brain, please. How can I forget Lenina? How can I forget Lenina? The best map ever created out there. Who doesn't remember this amazing, lovely map that is not Lenina, but Krupa? Ah. Brain. Brain. Yeah, well, Krupa it is, guys. Oof. Rough start here, but let's hope it doesn't stay that rough on this lovely map that already starts with Gonzo versus Karma on Krupa. Let's turn the music down and let's give these guys the battlefield. 3rd Canadian versus 3rd Fallschirmjäger. To give you a bit of information, a little background about how we got here. The bans have been 6 Airborne, 7th Mechanized, 6 Airborne, 7th Mechanized, now 3rd Mechanized, 28th Jäger, 3rd Spearhead, 3rd Guards Tank Corps, 5th Cavalry, and 44th. So no ban on 3rd Guards Tank Corps, but nobody picking at it on this map. This is interesting, because this is the perfect 3rd Guards Tank Corps map, isn't it? Well, let's see. 3rd Canadian, also not bad on this map. 3rd FJ is more of a wild pick. Also interesting is the income, because we have Gonzo with Vanguard versus Karma with Balanced. So this is really the show, and this will go long, guys. Trooper time it is. I mean, if Gonzo doesn't break through fast, this could go on for a long time. Rifles getting already killed by an ME410. Really good strike there. Taking off quite a bit of pressure from the south, because the south is where Kama is the weakest. He has a couple of forces in the center, way more than Gonzo actually. And his north is really strong, so I think he expected to push in the north. Instead, Gonzo is going for the old location, it seems like, in the south. But this double kill onto the rifle and force back onto a couple of others really slowed that down for a bit. Though 2 Sherman DDs are getting ready, and that's one of the reasons why this division is solid on this map. Because with 3rd Canadian, you can actually cross on quite a couple more locations than you can with normal divisions. For example, you could also make a push happen over here with infantry and Sherman DDs, which is really hard to hold, because that makes this map not a river map, but just a normal map, where the enemy can't push you back, but you can push him. Now we have a lot of Hummers, a lot of rifles coming in the south, so Kama will be under a lot of pressure in the south. And he really is not prepared for this. He's not prepared for this at all, so will not see a long game after all. Will Gonzo actually make this a quick game by taking these 3 flags and make it a 59? Let's see where we go. I need some water, guys, to make this happen. More rifles coming in. Rifles putting onto the Püppchen. Pack 38, killing off the Humber. Stuck coming in. Bitfire coming in as well. Rifles getting killed off in the open. MG42 really holding against it. This, by the way, is still played on the older patch. It happened just before the 29th. Panzerschrecks coming in. I think it happened in the 27th, if I remember correctly. So it's not quite on the newest patch with the plane changes, with the... So we will see a lot of armored forces in this as well, because the vision of them didn't got nerfed yet in the games they played. Stuck 3 here, getting engaged by Sherman DD. Rifles still trying to push over the open. MG42 now getting hit. And this is just such an overwhelming force here. Can Kama hold on against it? Can Kama hold on? Let's see what you guys voted on. So 4-3 in favor of Gonzo were the votes. So Kama has some believers here. And I think his performance in this season's playoffs so far was really, really strong. Going 2-0 over Neff and 2-0 over Grey Fox really showed that he is back in form. His normal season, his group phase wasn't too good, but he really is back. He's back in business. He played way more than he did before, and he looks really, really strong. But Gonzo, as we just saw, is still an absolute powerhouse, and you have to play near perfect to have a chance to beat him. Gonzo up to the 59 that we were talking about with this triangle of flags, and this is what Kama has to break if he wants to have chances with his balanced income. He has to get deeper into C-phase. He, at the moment, doesn't even really get into C-phase. Only 30 seconds of C-phase. We will see if it stays at the 59 for the rest of the game. So Kama has to do something about it. Mosquito now coming in for strafing, and will be able to take out the LG42, one of the best weapons that the Fallschirmjägers have. LG42 absolutely amazing, as it is really strong against infantry and tanks. And another first AA piece for comes out to prevent further Mosquito strafing runs in the future. Stack counter AA is back here, protect against Kama's Air Force that we already saw earlier. The ME410 bomber can be rather nasty if used correctly. But Gonzo here, up to the 1410. Fallschirmjäger sitting around here. MG42 getting hit by the Mosquito. Sturmjägers coming in. Luck 36 coming back here as well. Gets the flag with the Sturmjäger. good choice there by Kama bringing that one in, getting himself a bit of time. With this, he will get to the 30-minute mark, and that's where he wants to get enough power to get the counter aggression going against Gonzo's push here. But he needs to be a bit better in the trades till then, and Gonzo is setting up the next blow, the next push in the north, but here we already see that Kama is at least somewhat prepared. Question is if he will realize the push in time to get his micro up there as well, get all his units in the right spots to prevent this from breaking through again. Because if he loses both the southern bridge and the northern bridge and gives Gonzo a bridgehead into this town, the situation will become really, really rough. Pushing back into this will be next to impossible for the next 5 to 10 minutes at least. Maybe he can somehow sneak onto this flag via bringing in infantry over here or something, but he will not get this flag. So if he loses the 2 flags in the north, that will still be a 59, and this means Kama has to hold on here. Stormjäger's coming out, killing off the first couple of infantry units already, pinning down others. That's already a good start. Now has to disengage when the Humbers and the Shermans come in. Püppchen now engaging onto the Humber. No, holding its fire. Okay, interesting. Spitfire hitting the MG42, really good targeting there by Gonzo. Now hitting the Püppchen as well. And this is devastating. Losing the Püppchen and the MG42 takes a lot of firepower away here from Kama, who now has to react in the north. He has to bring in some investments there if he doesn't want to lose it. Stug 4 coming in, 3 coming in. Can he bring it in time? Mosquito killing off this Baywagen. He got 1 Humber. He pinned down the rifles for now, but the Sherman DDs and the Humber, 2 more Humbers are still around. The Air Force of Gonzo will most likely retreat soon. And so far it's still in the hands of Kama. The Stug 3 is important. Pak 38 also a nice choice there. Maybe bringing in the flak somewhat soon as well. In the south he brought in the mortar, which is an interesting choice. He tries to cross now. I think that's a bit too early. I don't think he has quite enough forces here. He maybe feels the pressure because he thinks, oh my god, I might lose the north, I need the south back. But I don't think he can do that. I think if he pushes now in the south, he just loses even more units. First, AB41 gets shut down already. Stoke and Flak 36 trying to help out. ME410 coming in, but the 2 Stackhound AAs are able to force it back. Who might even be able to shut it down with the 2-star veterancy. Sherman DD goes down, that's a good kill. And the ME410 gets out. Ooh, but Mosquito might get on its heels? No. The Flux forces back, and the ME109 G6R6 should be able to maybe... yeah, should be able to get a kill there. But it gets pinned down by the Stackhound's AA as well. So, first victory in the sky for Kama, who is still under heavy pressure in the north though. 59 now again for Gonzo as he gets the flag over here. With Kama still pressuring the south. Really interesting push. I'm surprised that it works out as well as it did. Killed off quite a couple of infantry units. Killed off the Sherman DD back in the back. Got the Mosquito baited into the south as well. So overall, so far the trades in the south were pretty solid for Kama. Question is, can he keep it up or will he just lose all the units over here? If he can kill the Sherman DD, for example, that would be pretty neat. Gets a penetration already. Moves the infantry in over here, so he can get that flag back, maybe. But at the same time, he also cleans house in the north. Stormjägers keeping the front. 2-star Stormjägers really have a lot of DPS. Stuck in a duel with a 6-pounder, which is a dangerous engagement for Stuck. But he gets the flag back, and it's only a 13-11 for Gonzo, and this is really good for Kama. We're getting into B phase, so income is even now. And Gonzo is not at a 59, and this is a really important stage of the game here now for Kama. If he can keep Gonzo at the 13-11 only, he will have enough time to push him back onto his side of the river, and if he can do that for long enough, he will win the game in the long run. Really good defensive play by Kama. Taking risks I would never have taken, but he makes it look kind of easy even, taking out the Sherman DD here in the south. Maybe a bit too little micro by Gonzo in the south at the same time, being too focused on the north and not achieving too much there either. But Gonzo with the second push. Gonzo never shying away from pushing another time, even though it looked like it was broken the first time. And yeah, now with the defense groups, and 2 Shermans actually getting over the bridge. Might be able to take out the Stuk here as well now. Has to be careful with the Sherman DDs not getting too close to these buildings. Brewagen now also running into the defense groups to pin them down. They have to disengage here. Gets the Stuk though, and this means the Shermans have free reign, and with the Spitfires coming in as well, Gonzo's back to a 59. Oh boy, this game is insane. Sherman falls in the south, so Kama maybe can get this flag back, brings it back to 13-11 once more. Pak 40 unloading over here, but against 2 Shermans, it should be careful, especially with also the Firefly showing up. Pak 40 in the open will not be able to take these out. Will be pinned down way too easily. 2 Stuks showing up, but Kama in a lot of pressure in the north, but somehow getting all the flags back in the south. Even the flag next to the bridge, at least for the next couple of seconds. Losing the Stuk in the back though kinda hurts. Gets a Pak 40 into a good spot though. This is really important. Being able to take this forest back and position a Pak 40 in here, controlling the surroundings of the bridge, was an important move by Kama, whilst bringing in more Stuks in the north. He should engage them all at once though. A single Stuk against a Firefly and 2 Shermans is not the engagement I would take if I would be in Kama's shoes. And he realizes that now, disengages with the Stuk, waiting for the second one to show up. But his infantry will be pressured in the town, with more and more rifles showing up for Gonzo. Oh my god, that's a lot of rifles. That's 9 rifles and 2 leaders. Ooh. And an off-map. Gonzo going full-on pressure in the north, whilst Kama somehow tries to take back the south. Gonzo hasn't invested too much lately down here. Only thing he brought in, I think, is this next German D leader. Kama now bringing in units from the side into the south. Maybe with the Stuks he can ambush this German DD without engaging the Firefly or the other German DD. Maybe take that one out. Every tank he can take out in the north is an important one. But the Stormjägers get pressured in town. Kills off a rifle really quickly, but now is under fire by a lot of other rifles. Bombs are pretty nice, but they sadly also pin down his Stormjägers, so they get surrendered just before they get out of range for that. Stuks now engaging the Firefly. I don't know if that's the engagement you want to take. ME410 for sure is a good bomber here for Mr. Kama. This is a really, really good game, but Kama is under a lot of pressure. Gonzo up to 59. Can Kama keep it alive? Or will Gonzo here win in the next 9 minutes? At least we will get into C phase now. But Kama really needs that 14-10. He can't allow 59 for too much longer to happen. Ooh, gets the... with the Pak 38, gets the Sherman, gets the flag over here, brings it back to a 14-10. And that's what he has to hold. The 14-10, even under heavier casualties, is something he can afford in the long run. Like, obviously he can't trade horribly, but as long as he only trades slightly worse, if he gets him into C phase, might something he can afford. And so far he trades pretty okay everywhere, basically. Like, the trades in the south went way better for him than I would have expected. Like, most other players would have lost so much more against Gonzo there than Kama did. And would have gotten way worse. Like, that he actually got this flag for a while was really impressive. Spitfires coming in the center. ME410 trying to shoot down one of them. But no AA here supporting the ME109, so it has to be careful in the fight against 2 Spitfires. Has to be really careful. Kama now has to micro it against the second Spitfire, trying to catch up behind it. Is there the micro? Is the micro there? No, it doesn't look like it. Ooh, ME109 goes down, and this is pretty rough for Kama, who is now also down to a 915 again. Flak 36 engages the rifles. Pins them down. Rifles also pushing in the middle. That's where the 59 comes from. Taking out the forces over here together with another Sherman DD that tries to cross the river. He got the other Sherman in the north though, so it's only the Firefly remaining here as the armored forces. Hypien maybe a bit out of position here now. Not really needed. Bofors coming in the back. Another Bofors in the middle. Gonzo on the way to trying to solidify his position. Getting a kill onto an Opel Blitz over here as well now. Pak 40 engages the Sherman. Will Gonzo react in time? Yeah. Super quick reaction. Always on his heels here. Gonzo, so quick with his reaction, like only getting like the shot of the Pak 40 didn't even land when he already gave the order. It looked like Pak 40 was revealed for maybe a second when he already gave the order back. Really quick reactions here from the master himself. That's why he is he's holding the title, because of micro like that. 6-pounder going down on the end over here. Rifles in engagements with the Stormjägers. And a MG42 pinning down the rifles over here. 14-10 now. Karma has to keep it at that, but this is just ever so slightly on the edge. Fallschirmjägers and Luftwaffejägers actually get into the south though, and this is nice. So this road seems to be free of enemy fire, which is maybe a bit of a mess up by Gonzo. Yeah, he could have maybe put the 6-pounder into a better position to shut stuff coming in here, because this gives Karma a road back into the town and back into a position where he maybe can push this back from Gonzo in the long run. And especially he can hold this flag, and this is really important, because that gives him the 10-14 that he needs to get into a longer game in C-phase. While it's also pushing in the north. Gonzo under a lot of pressure everywhere now. His push in the center didn't really work out. Coming in with the off-map now, yes, but he can't really follow it up. It only keeps him the flag a bit longer maybe, but it doesn't allow him to push on this flag, I would say. Sherman DD also now falling to the LG42. So Gonzo losing a lot of important units now. He still has the air control, which is really important. You can't forget about, especially now after bringing in the Bofors. But his front line looks rather weak, and if Karma can bring it to a 12-12, he's in an absolutely prime position in the long run. As we're getting closer and closer to C-phase, only 1 minute 30 remaining in B. Stokes pushing in the north. Firefly sitting here behind the buildings. 13-11 for Mr. Gonzo. Spitfire coming in now. Fallschirmjägers coming in. Spitfires hitting in the north, hitting the Fallschirmjäger Aufklärer. Fallschirmjäger Panzerschreck coming in as well. 14-10 here for Mr. Gonzo. Off map coming in. And thank you there, Sir Daniels, for the subscription gifted to Mr. Milchkäse. What a nice chat there, this Mr. Sir Daniels. Giving other guys the chances to use 9th Cav and correct emotes all over the internet. Which they absolutely should do, because those are prime emotes. Especially the 9th Cav. Rifles getting killed off. Firefly getting forced back. Karma brings it to a 12-12. What a mad lad. Like, oh my god. Gonzo's pressure all over the map. How many other players would have been able to hold that? I would say next to 0, if not 0. Karma really holding on here with his 3rd Fallschirmjäger and bringing it back to a 12-12. Which actually looks kind of stable. Like, other than the south, where he might lose it, it looks kind of stable. So, is Karma actually doing it here? We are in C-phase now, which means he has to be at income. And right as I say that, the off-map hits in the north, I forgot that that was going on. And Gonzo gets that one back. With the off-map itself also does well. He actually might get the south back as well. But still, impressive work so far by Karma already. And if he can make this a victory, I'm really impressed. Rifles engaging down here in the south. Luftwaffejäger getting hit on. This is one impressive feat here by Mr. Karma. Gonzo is still playing in a really good game here though. Being up to a 13-11 once more. 11 minutes on the clock. He needs a 59. 5 minutes on the clock would put Karma under a lot of pressure. But the question is, where does he get it? Even if he has the flag down here, he still needs one more. Maybe he can make another breakthrough in the south, but his income now is so low. He can't really afford that much, and he needs to use the forces he has on the field. He invests into 2 Shermans in the north, and maybe he should have invested more into the south instead. Firefly now getting engaged by Pack 40, and doesn't seem like he has the firepower to pin it down in time before the Firefly bites the dust. Well, maybe he has 2 Shermans firing onto the Pack 40. Pack 40 also changed targets. Now firing onto the second Sherman. Gets pinned down. And more rifles coming in, trying to secure this flag. But in the south, can he cross the bridge over here? 10 minutes will give Karma quite a bit of time to get back into this game. Karma now with his own off-map in the south. The off-map over here of Gonzo not really doing too much anymore. He's trying to cross with the rifles. He has the Sherman crossing, but there's the Pack 38, there is the Stug that he has to deal with somehow. Spitfires, fighter bombers is the solution he's trying to use here, but the Flak 36s, 2 of them, no, they're a bit too far back. So the Stug gets bombed and Gonzo is actually able to cross the river. 1410 once more for him. ME-109 tries to hunt down the Spitfires. Should be able to get this one maybe, which is called back. Already trailing flag smoke though, thanks to the AA of Gonzo. And yeah, I think Karma should call this one home. You don't want to follow that into Bofors fire. He's calling it to the south. He gets the Sherman with the Pack 40 back here. He gets the Sherman. That's a nice kill here for Karma. But there's 2 more Shermans coming up. He lost his Stug. And the infantry of Gonzo is plentiful in the south. 1410 it is so. And the Bofors might be able to get the ME-109 here. That would be rather unfortunate here for Karma. Losing another fighter of his. Giving Gonzo even more of an edge again in disguise. ME-109 though makes it out. Really important there for Karma in the long run. If we get into the long game. Nice off-map here in the north. But Gonzo is reacting with off-map as well. Gets the Firefly though with the 210mm. Flak 41 coming up as well. Pushing forward. Maybe trying to push onto the Sherman there. Will get the kill. Not with that shot. Now the Sherman is out of range. So it looks like the Sherman will stay alive for now. But Karma gets the flag back. So it's only 13-11 for Gonzo. 8 minutes on the clock. But the lower the number gets, the more likely it becomes that Gonzo actually makes it happen with a 13-11. I mean, we have seen how well he can defend and like force the enemy to pay for every ground every meter of ground he takes in the last game against Wesley. Maybe he can do it once more here. Maybe. Pack 40 still in a nice supreme spot here against the Shermans, but 2 Shermans always have a lot of firepower, and not getting the kill here on the Sherman with that shot is kind of painful. I think that's the end of the Pack 40, yes. And now 3 Shermans versus a Pack 38 and a single Stug. Looks rather hard for Karma to push him back here. How is the north looking? Really rough. Both sides without tanks now after the Sherman finally gets killed off by the Flak 41. Gonzo with a bit more infantry, but obviously Fallschirmjägers being the better infantry. But Gonzo gets the flag back, 14-10. If he can get this flag, the 59 would be amazing. That would be 3.5 minutes now for Karma, and that would be really, really hurtful. But as long as Karma can get it at... can keep it at a 10-14, he still has quite a bit of time left. And he should be able to get into a position where he might be able to push back, because he gets 55 more points. More than 50% more than Gonzo in points per minute. That's like 2 infantry units, or like 1 Stug every 2 minutes. More that Karma gets at the moment. So the longer the game goes on, the harder it will become for Gonzo to hold his advantage on the map. After killing 1 Flak 36 though, now Spitfires don't get forced back anymore before they drop their bombs, which is rather annoying for Karma in the south. Speerwagen tries to push in. Off-map was nicely positioned, but didn't get any important kills there. But it will prevent reinforcements to cross the bridge, and that's really the point of why Karma put it there on the long-lasting barrage, to stop Gonzo from reinforcing over the river, whilst putting in his own reinforcements to try to get the map, the flag back. ME109 in the north, ME410 in the north also gets its bombs off, even though there's 2 Bofors, but they are a bit too far in the back. Maybe allowing Karma to get this flag back, and will we get it back to a 12-12 here in a second? With the off map still going on, and quite a lot of forces coming in for Karma, I can't see him taking the flag down here. Especially with the 6-pounder still being pinned down. And Gonzo doesn't have too many rifles units left here. So, if Karma can also push him in the north, looks pretty nice. Looks pretty good for him here. Still 42 coming in. 17-pounder and 6-pounder though absolutely can kill this dude. So, it has to be careful. Infantry-wise, it's really even here. But the snipers and the Vickers will be annoying for Karma here. 5 minutes 20 left for Karma. Gonzo loses the flag in the south. Karma back to 11-13. So 1 flag away for a position where he can dig in and start to think about how to cross the river in the long run. Will Gonzo keep this 13-11 alive for 5 more minutes? 5 minutes don't sound too long, but in Steel Division sometimes they can feel like an eternity. Flak 41 actually getting pinned down by the Mosquito. Really nice play there by Gonzo, but not quite getting it killed off is annoying. And if the ME109 can kill the Mosquito, at least Karma gets something in response for it. And it looks like the ME109 will be able to align and get a kill. So another nice shutdown there for Karma, who might actually be able to get this flag, and this would be heartbreaking for Gonzo, because that means he would be losing his 13-11. And Karma is really heavily pushing it. Next to no infantry left in the south. He has 4 Shermans, but they are not too good in this territory. He actually has 5 Shermans, but he lost the infantry here. He is out of rifles in the south. And he loses the flag, and it's actually a 13-11 for Karma, as he also takes the north in the same time. And this is a really, really rough spot for Gonzo now. Loses the 1 Sherman over here now as well. He needs good kills here now. With the Shermans coming from every direction. Kills 1 Stug. Panzerabwehr coming in, Stu coming in. Flak 36 now coming in the north to give some air support there. Air coverage as well there against the Spitfires. And I don't see Gonzo crossing the north again. So even if he takes both flags in the south, only brings him back to the 13-11. 59 is out of the equation by now, but 13-11 would be enough. The question is, can he ever get back there? Kills the Pak 36. Maybe Karma gets a bit too overeager here now. 12-12 is all he has to hold. Trying to cross the river here forces him into taking quite a lot of casualties here against the artillery commander and the Shermans. Sherman has to be careful as the Panzerabwehr gets into range. Yeah, that you don't want to push that one forward. Good fire bomber though. Nice hit there on the Panzerabwehr. And yeah, that was overeager by Karma. That was an overeager push. With the Shermans bringing in a nice flank. Stuks and Stews here are also under fire. Stuk number 2 goes down. It's only a Pak 40 and the already half-life Stew remaining for Karma here. Gonzo brings it back to a 12-12, gets the kill on the with the 6-pounder and gets back to a 13-11 in a second here, I think. Ooh, Karma getting too overeager. Giving Gonzo a chance to get back into this. Get back into a 13-11. Karma just wanted too much there, and Gonzo even getting the flag in the north once more. Don't ask me how he managed that, but he did. Will not be a long-lasting one though, as infantry pushing into 2 stews is not the nicest experience you can have. But still a really, really good game here from Gonzo, getting himself another 13-11 here. 3 minutes 52. Can he keep on to this flag? The Pak 40 and the Flak 36 really make it annoying now to hold on to this flag. But if he can kill off the infantry in these buildings, and maybe can cross with some over this section of the map, get some infantry into these buildings, then Karma might be in trouble. Spitfire trying to come in. will get its bombs dropped off. But actually only hits the rifle hits of Gonzo. Oh, that was a bad targeting there by Gonzo. One of his few mistakes. But a pretty painful one. If he would have pinned down one of the Palchermakers, this duel would have been somewhat even. Instead, his units just get melted there. But only 3 minutes on the clock for Karma. Can he get the flag back in the south, or maybe even grab a flag somewhere else? So I think that's quite unlikely. Like, trying to push in here is rather hard. And getting any of these 2 flags would be kind of a miracle in 2 minutes 40. So it's really, I think, all about this flag in the south. I think both of these players know it as well. Gonzo having 4 Shermans there makes it really annoying to break, but 2 Stews and a Stuk, supported by a Pak 40, maybe can do the task. And Gonzo is painfully low on infantry down here. Brings in 2 more rifle squads in the south. But the infantry advantage for Karma makes it really, really annoying here for Gonzo. 2 minutes 20 on the clock. Can Karma raise it down? It looks like he should be able to, but we have seen similar situation last game with Wesley, where it looked like he maybe could be able to get it back, and he wasn't able to. But Karma gets it back. 12-12 it is. And this is really painful here for Gonzo. Sherman goes down to LG42. And the units down here swing, the advantage swings harder and harder in the favor of Karma. Brings in more and more reinforcements. Whereas the north looks rather secured for Karma. Though, ooh, running into the 17-pounder is a big mistake. Especially as it's also backed up by Firefly. Ooh, losing the Stews and so on here was really unnecessary. He didn't need to push here. This might even allow Gonzo again to take the northern flag. Oh my god, these 2 players both getting a bit too overeager a couple of times, but overall playing such an amazing game here in game number 1. First 33 minutes of the series already being absolutely insane. Luftwaffejäger and Fallschirmjägers pushing onto the rifle. What an insane match here. What an insane match we have at hand. Fallschirmjägers engaging onto the rifles. Killing that one off. And it's just like last season, guys. These guys are just made to play each other. Maybe we should make next season only game after game after game between Karma and Gonzo, because it's just so enjoyable to watch these 2 play. Like, all the other players also are fun to watch, but these 2 in a matchup is just a creme de la creme that we get in Steel Division. 13-11 now for Karma. Püppchen coming up. Stews and Stuks securing it for Karma, being at 14-10. And it looks like it is the beginning of the end for Gonzo. Karma just playing such a nice defensive play. What an intense game here. Can Gonzo maybe make a push in the north happen again? After Karma did a bit of an overextension here. Looks like Gonzo has enough forces here maybe to make another miracle push happen. But he needs more than these 2 flags even. He needs at least one of the flags in the south back. Or a 3rd flag. And the 3rd flag would mean either taking this one or this one. Both far behind enemy lines. Karma's off map here will be nasty. And all of that would be on the back of 100 versus 155 points of income per minute. So, a really tough nut to crack here for Gonzo, but he's never one to give up, and he made more than one miracle happen over the years. So, I wouldn't count him out, but the chances get rather slim, and this off-map was absolutely devastating. Oh my god, this makes the chances of this happening even slimmer. Gonzo has next to no forces left to push in the south. The stack on the AAs falling back, 2 rifles and a Sherman. That's all that's left for him. Looks like Karma the Madman actually did it. Opal Blitz getting killed off, stack on AA pushing forward. 14-10 here for Mr. Karma. And it shows that the OP divisions slowly but surely get nerfed, guys. Third Canadian isn't an absolutely mad lad that it was 1 or 2 seasons ago. Like, especially in Season 2, Third Canadian was absolutely insane. But even in Season 3, you don't really want to play against it. It's beatable now. It's still an absolute powerhouse, but you can beat it, and Karma showed how to. 59 for him now. Gonzo not giving up, but I just can't see a way how. Maybe via insane airplay, but for that he needs to take out the AA. The AA just looks a bit... Well, maybe there's no AA in the middle, but he doesn't have any forces to push in the middle either. Maybe he wants to do it via airplay. But he only has 40 minutes to do so. Yes, he's down now to 59 for Karma. Maybe airplay is what Gonzo wants to use here. And I think that's really the only option how to. But third FJ is not the weakest in the air. And I think there should be at least 1 or 2 more Flak 41s as well in the deck of Karma, maybe. So with those showing up, it would get even harder. And it would take a long game here to get there. To get the trades in that you get better than... Like, he needs a 1.5 KD for the rest of the game. Or like better than 1.5 to actually get this back into his favor. Which is insane on this level of play. But he starts to do it, maybe. Stu's getting engaged here. Rifle's getting engaged. He gets the flag back here, gets himself to 26 minutes. Spitfire Bomber coming in. Not doing any damage to the Pak 40 though. Which is rather annoying for Gonzo. 14-10. Falchamigas coming in. Spitfire number 2 coming in, hitting the Falchamigas. The HS-129 has to be careful. Stu in the bag. Sherman's against Fallschirmjäger Panzerabwehr. Dealing really well with it here. And the off-map comes in. One more time. Gonzo under a lot of pressure here. LG-42 firing upon him. Pak 40 coming to the front line makes it even harder here for Gonzo to try to find a way back into this game. Mosquito fighter coming in, trying to strafe the LG-43. Second 08 keeping the HS-129 at bay. Ooh, Mosquito flying a bit too deep though, and Gonzo loses another plane, and this is just so painful at this stage of the game. He can't afford to lose any single plane, and yeah, losing a plane like this right now really hurts. Really, really hurts. 14-10 for Karma, 24 minutes. Will we actually go over the 1 hour mark in this game number 1? This was such an intense Krupa game. Usually Krupa games are way slower than this, but usually we also don't see Gonzo and Karma playing against each other, so yeah, this was actually an enjoyable Krupa game, at least from a spectator view. It must have been really intense from the player's perspective. And now Ju-88 S1 coming up, trying to get some 50 kilogram bombs on target. Gonzo coming up with quite a couple more Shermans. Shooter killed. Mosquito bomber coming in onto the Pak 40. Sherman gets killed off though before the Pak 40 falls. And another ME-109, another kill on the plane of Gonzo, and he can't take these losses. With every plane going down, his chances of getting back into this game get closer to 0. Another Spitfire coming up. Plane advantage being really one of the few ways how you can win in a long game when you have the worst late game income. And oh my god, he loses plane after plane after plane. Another Spitfire going down. This is just so painful. He at least gets a Ju-88 as well. which before though drops some bombs onto the Bofors. Shouldn't be able to kill it, but is able to pin it down. And Karma even pressuring him in the middle now. Mosquito bombers and Spitfire bomber coming in. This time there will be no response to it, so these two at least should survive. But it still, the air fleet of Gonzo is crippled. And Karma's deck still seems to be healthy when it comes to numbers and forces in it. Stokes showing up, Luftwaffe Eagers showing up. And he's starting to put on the pressure. Pak 40 sitting back here. Luftwaffe Eager engaging the defenses over here. Well, with a 50-minute time limit, Gonzo would have a chance here. That's obvious. Then Karma would have to push much harder. Even then, I think Karma could be, like, if he would force to push here, he could do it as well. But at the moment, he is not really forced to push, so he just plays a bit slower. I would like to have a time limit. Maybe we would have to nerf Vanguard then a bit. But I think time limit games are more fun, because at the moment, it just feels like Gonzo is in a really slow death animation, and his only like hope is Air Force or power shortage on the side of Karma. So, yeah, with the second one hopefully not occurring here, that would be rather silly. Yeah, 6-pounder sitting on the hill here. Yeah, but he could have gotten to a 59 earlier with a 50-minute time limit. Like, he would have pushed harder onto this flag, for example, for 59 earlier, Tiger. Like, the players would have played differently if with a time limit in place. So, obviously also, Gonzo wouldn't have to pressure in there. And like, with time limits, you have to do some balance equations as well. So, you can't just say, oh yeah, with a time limit, he would have won here easily, or something like that. But I think time limit makes games more interesting. That's why I'm for it. Like, just saying, oh yeah, with a time limit he would win here. I mean, with a 59, the game would be over at 53 minutes, so with Karma still having 2 minutes on the clock, it would be pretty close here with a 50-minute time limit, with a 59 happening right now. But yeah, as I said, it's not just that easy. So, Sherman getting killed down, but I would like it with time limit, because I think the games would be a bit more interesting in the longer games. You would have to rebalance Vanguard and so on, though. Obviously. The balance seems to be a bit too strong, too weak then. Maybe. Like, Vanguard might have to lose like another 5 or 10 points in a phase or something. But all of that is just speculations, because we don't have a time limit right now, so we can't really talk about how it affects balance. We would have to have a time limit first before, or like at least a testing time limit before we can do that. 59 here for Karma. What we know for sure is that 40 minutes were too much in favor of the early incomes in Steel Division, Normandy 44, with late game divisions never really showing up. But with 50 minutes we will have to see. 45 minutes now here. 8 minutes on the clock for Gonzo. At a 15-9. $59 here for Karma now. And Gonzo also seems to run out of stuff. 6-pounders is really not quite the unit he wants now. And yeah, he just doesn't have any push power anymore. This game is game over. Gonzo, though, not the guy to give up in a finals game, so I think we might see it till the end here. 46 minutes tick down. 6-pounder here. Engaging the Stook. Spitfire coming in. Mosquito getting hit as well. ME109 is showing up behind the Mosquito, getting the kill. LG42 is coming in. Raffled sitting up in the north. Pack 38 engaging the Sherman. $59 for Mr. Kama. Gonzo can now bring in 107mm. But yeah, without having a significant air force, there's just no hope here for Gonzo. Bring in a Priest DD as well. But he will not manage to get this game back into his favor. There's just no way. HS129 B3 coming in. On the hunt for the Firefly. Firefly going down here. Force hitting the HS129 B3. Forcing it back. Six-pounder over here. Trying to kill off the Stug. Not quite managing to do so. But this game is just in its last turns and last, like, yeah, this will not change anytime soon. Yeah, this is really where, in a time that would bring in more excitement in a game like this, where it's all about like, oh, can Gonzo hold on for long enough to secure it over the last couple of minutes? As I said, you would have to speak about balance and stuff, but I think it would just make the late game so much more enjoyable instead of, yeah, saying, okay, yeah, Kama won here. Let's just see it tick down and chill, because that's all there is to it. Like, having him to go for an 18-6 right now would be just so exciting. Like, I mean, he could achieve it, right? So, like, and 1 minute of 18-6 might be enough to get him, like, over this bar, for example. So, and he would have to push way harder. Now it's just like, oh yeah, play it's absolutely safe, so I don't somehow mess it up and lose. So, yeah, he's just slow pushing and getting kill after kill on Gonzo's planes. Yeah, there's, yeah, like, sometimes, yeah, some players like to give up early and then just because they don't want to get into the tilt mode, and some players, like, not giving up is not just, like, I think in Steel Division it's fine. It's not like, yeah, Gonzo surrenders here after time. So, yeah, pretty close KD-wise, but obviously Kama had way more on the field, and that showed at this point in the game. Gonzo's Spitfires did a lot of work. Oh my god, the Spitfires were amazing, but in the end he started to lose them, and yeah, that was when it was surely over, because at that point Kama had the advantage in every single regard. On his side, nothing really did any amazing things. The ME109 obviously shooting down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planes. That one did really well. Walker, not really the most German name, did really good there. Did really well. Other than that, we're just a really, really decent defense in the early game by Kama against a really well executed push by Gonzo. Just a couple too many mistakes, and Kama just being such a rock there. Like, just another level above the defenses of Wesley that we saw in the semifinals, and that's why we see him winning here in game number 1. But don't get too worried about Gonzo. He lost game number 1 in the last final they played as well, coming out 3-0 in the end. So nothing is lost here. It's a best of 5. Let's see you guys in game number 2 in 4 minutes. So here we return. Game number 2. After Karma takes game number 1, we're back into another Axis versus Allies. With Gonzo versus Karma. And it's again Karma with the Axis and Gonzo with the Allies. With Karma playing the lovely 20th Panzer. And Gonzo on another really strong Soviet division in form of 2nd Mechanized. Which is the first time that we see it today, or overall in this weekend. But that is often because it's banned, usually. So Gonzo leaving that open for him to get it picked afterwards. Let's have a look what the bans were in game number 2. So the bans were, let's go, 6 Airborne again, 5th Cavalry again, then Panzeri, Canadians, 3rd Mechanized, 3rd Armored, this time 3rd OP, and 20th Jaeger. So the only differences really are the second bans by Gonzo with 3rd OP and 20th Jaeger in this game. But overall, pretty usual bans there. 3 Axis, 5 Allied bans with 28th Panzeri Divisiona and 5th Cavalry Zata against the Axis. 20th Panzer is an interesting pick here. It's a pretty strong division, especially with the Martyrs, but it's, as a lot already pointed out yesterday, more of an Axis versus Axis than an Axis versus Allied division, it feels like. Like, Panzer IVs are not that strong against Allied divisions most of the time, and the infantry is not quite good enough to keep up with most of the Allied top divisions, so it really feels more home in the Axis versus Axis games, but it for sure still is a strong division. But Gonzo's division seems a tick better. Let's see what you guys think about it though. Let's make another poll after game number 1. Who do you think will win game number 2? Gonzo or Mr. Karma, who now is in a comfortable position of leading 1-0. This time both play Vanguard, so we will not see one guy playing the defensive play for the first 20 minutes and then the other guy trying to come back. It will be all-out aggression and all-out trading from the get-go. It should be quite interesting. Seventh Mechanized, always one of the top divisions since it came out. Really annoying to deal with sometimes. SU-76 for example is a pretty nice one, based on the Stux chassis. So far Gonzo seems to take a while here to deploy though. Let me have a look to make sure that I actually unpaused, and I actually didn't unpause again. I misclicked, it looks like. Well, I speeded it up to double time, but I didn't. I think I pressed plus instead of pressed go. Okay, so let's move a bit further forward in time before we talk too much about the deployment here and too little about the game. Okay, so here we go. That's a better point in time to start the game from. Let it running, and here we go. Oh, okay. Panzer IV F1s in the north. Yeah, this looks more like it. Couple of T-34s, couple of Su-76s, couple of striky SVTs, which are pretty strong. SVT is still one of the best rifles out there. Panzer 3Ls, Panzer IV F1s in the south. And these F1s are one of the reasons why 20th Panzer is pretty neat. These support tanks have really good HE shells, and they have high rate of fire, 12 rounds per minute, make them really good in killing off anti-tank guns and other soft targets, and okayish against armored cars and so on. Obviously against tanks, after they fired their heat shells, they're pretty useless, but with the heat shells they also can be a danger. On the other side, Panzer 3Ls are better in killing tanks than in killing soft targets, so combining them really absolutely makes sense. It makes them a dangerous force to go against. So here we go. Valkyries in the south. North, Gonzo goes for the hill. Karma what is his plan here? His plan is quite a bit heavier commitment to the town, it looks like. Well, with the forces coming from here, it looks rather even, and then defending the hill in the middle, where Gonzo also sends quite a couple of units. So Gonzo all-out aggression for the north, which, if Kama loses both of these hills, usually it means the end for him, but at his side. But he can hold on to it. He has the potential there to hold on. Let's see if he is able to do so. Aufklärers coming in. Always nice to see them actually being played now, especially if it's also being used with a Schwimmwagen MG. Always nice to have some units actually seeing play. Finally, the recon units being useful now since the new patch, where they actually got buffed into a good state. Hello there, Iota371, welcome to the channel. Thank you there for the follow. And down in the south we have some Ersatztruppen, we have a Panzerschreck, we have some Panzer Grenadiers, Marder and Panzer IV F1 also showing up. Thank goodness Aniki is here. Getting the first surrender for Gonzo, first blood going to him. In the south, looks like a stalemate. Both sides having quite a lot of AT there, but not enough infantry to quite push the other side. Off map, off Kama going into the middle, as he realized that there's quite a lot there coming. And a good off map on to this position, for example, can be devastating. Especially as Gonzo doesn't seem to have the forces to spot the off map, so it might surprise him. And that's always devastating. If the enemy off map completely catches you by surprise, that's the worst feeling. If you at least spotted them beforehand and maybe can split out your units or move them around so that the enemy off map isn't completely accurate, it can be like then it doesn't feel as bad. But if you don't see it before it hits you, it can be absolutely devastating. And here it goes. 220mm off map on the way. Kama really showing his APM there with this order. Absolutely necessary to give it exactly this pathing. If any other pathing in this would be doomsday for Kama, but thanks to this amount of orders, this Speerwagen will win him the game. I'm sure about that. MG42 here gets caught in the woods together with the Pak 40, and this is devastating. This is really good move by Gonzo. The Striker SVT catching both the Pak 40, the MG42 and the Aufklärer all in the forest. And the off map is also a bit off because Gonzo already goes into aggression before the off map hits, and this is a bit annoying here for Kama. Gonzo retreating directly into the off map though. Okay, so the off map isn't too bad after all, though a bit unlucky with the hits so far for Kama. All of them going in over here instead of in the front. In the end though, he gets the infantry pinned down and the tanks nearly pinned down. So Gonzo has to be careful there. 1311 for Gonzo on the hill. Strelky's coming up. But this move with the Strelky SVTs was really good. Taking down one of the most important positions on the map. Whilst in the north, Kama has the advantage of the armored vehicles, but he's running out of infantry. He can't deal with the Strelky SVTs though, so that should allow him to get the flag. Which gets him a 1311. Second off map coming in, that's the last off map remaining on this 220mm truck. And Gonzo is setting up a push in the south. But no armored forces here yet. Only at Ratchvetka as really solid anti-tank. The PTRs more so against trucks than against tanks. It's back to a 12-12 position. And even Gonzo's AA now under fire. Bringing in 4 T-34s, but they might arrive too late. This AAPs might die beforehand. The Su-76 is also a bit out of position. He has 2 assist 3s up here, which are also not too helpful in this fight. So, yeah, the 37mm might bite the dust before this comes into play. 37mm going down. Nice kill there for Kama. After that he falls back. A lot of pressure on him now in the south. Ratchvetka trying to get the kill onto the Panzer 3L, and I think they should be able to manage because Kama hasn't spotted it yet, and Panzer 3L is a bit out of position. Nice micro there by Gonzo. Into the building, out of the building till his unit is reloaded. And this should allow Gonzo the possibility to push in here. against the Ersatztruppen with his Strelkies and Strelky SVTs. Which should give him the flag in town. So far this game looks quite a bit better for Gonzo. The off-map in the center kept his units at bay, and his infantry is pretty low on numbers by now, but... Oh, and the last off-map luckily takes out the T-34. Otherwise, I would have said pushing in there is rather hard with the T-34 still alive. But, okay, so Kama should hold this hill. There's quite a lot of forces though coming for him in the north. Su-76 here is in a nice spot, but there's 2 Marders, 2 Panzer IIIs and a Panzer IV. Well, that's a lot of forces. Kama now really bringing all his armored forces into the north, bringing in the Border Stallion as well. That's a lot of pressure. He will lose the south, but if you can win the north instead, that's always better on this map. The question is, can he actually do so? He lost his Panzer IVs on the hill, only his Panzer III remaining here, and there's 4 T-34s coming for it. So Gonzo might be able to take the hill before Kama's heavy armored support comes in to help him out here in the north. 220mm gets killed off as well. T-34 76 pushes onto the Panzer Grenadier. And all of this doesn't look too well for Kama right now. Gonzo going up to a 1410. And you guys also believed in Gonzo. Your vote also went for Gonzo against Kama. Even though Kama won game number 1. But 1410 here looks pretty good for Gonzo so far. The trades were a bit better for him. Kama now investing into the south, and I don't know if that's the right choice. I think he should rather double down onto the north, giving up the town. Like, yeah, a couple of forces are needed here to not lose the entrance to the town. That can be devastating as well. But he has a nice spot over here, and if he keeps the entrance to the town alive, then having this one flag doesn't really mean much for Gonzo. But winning the north is winning the game. Like, if you can get both hills, either these 2 for Kama or these 2 for Gonzo, you win the game. There's usually no real way back into this. Ooh, the M42s here of Gonzo are devastating, killing off all the tanks here, together with the SIS-3s. So the 4 T-34s stay pretty unopposed. Only the Border Stallion against them, but that one can't hunt them down. Like, sure, they can't really kill the Border Stallion, but they can just stay out of range and hold the hill. And I really don't think this was the right choice here, bringing all these forces into the south. More M42s coming in for Gonzo here to help out against all the light armor. The Marder and the Panzer IV falling over here. Gonzo coming up with the right counters at the right time and again here. Really good choices here in units, compositions, time and again. T-34 killing off the F1 as well. Realizing that his T-34s can't really go head-to-head against the armored forces, but those are really easy to kill off with M42s. And that's what he brought in against the Marders, because they have such low armor. In the south we have another Panzer IIIL and a Panzer IVG coming up. First T-34 goes down. Second one now in a 1v1 situation against the Panzer IIIL, but one more penetration against the Panzer IIIL should kill it. So the T-34 might be able to win out in the end. Second Panzer IV though comes up, helps out. So the T-34 has to disengage. Nice kill on the M42 over here. Nearly pins down both of the other ones. So the Panzer IV might be able to kill them if used correctly by Kama. If it engages this one first. Denisov finally shows up against the ME-109. Lucky getting hit. Can he get the kill? Goes into a curve, but takes the wrong turn afterwards. 59 now for Gonzo, and this is really bad news here for Kama. This time he doesn't have the balanced income in the late game to come back, and his Border Stallion now is without support, even gets penetrated already once because it shows side armor. Yeah, this is in a really tough spot here. He just doesn't have the support anymore on the front line that he had when he called the Border Stallion in. Gonzo did an amazing job of taking that out. And so 3N coming in now. P2 coming in to try to kill off the Border Stallion, which is already damaged. JU87 comes in. Will kill off one T-34 here. Border Stallion kills off the other one, but P2 gets the bombs off. Will the ME-109 and the JU87D5 may be able to kill the P2? No, not with Denisov being around. Ooh. Any target maybe... JU-D5 maybe could have gotten Denisov here. P2 trying to retreat. All over the map. Ooh, ME-109 actually is able to shoot down the P2. Nice kill there. For Karma. Gets an ME-109 G2 now out as well, and together with the D5 that should be able to kill off Denisov as well. Especially with another ME-109 on the heels of Denisov. Well, that is a dangerous head-to-head. Both kill each other, yeah. That was a bit unnecessary there for Karma. I think he could have just gotten the kill there without losing it. Plane. His Border Stallion is not able to maneuver anymore. Its transmission is damaged, so the T-34s are dangerous as they can shoot onto the side armor and onto the crippled Border Stallion, but it's, as long as it can fire, it is a beast, taking out its Strelkies and everything coming down the road. But the south is not going too well for Karma. It's starting to get better. He's starting to push in here again. The middle, he took out all the armored forces, but he doesn't have any infantry remaining himself. It's a heavy attrition warfare game again. Gonzo being up on a 16-10 again, though, makes it a timed game here for Karma. He needs to push at some point, and that's always a chance for Gonzo to get really good trades when he forces the enemy to push and then has the ambush to snap and take out the enemy. ME-109 G2R1 coming in onto the M42. Should be able to get a kill. Finish it off. Thanks, Green HD, that's why I'm putting it on. To give you the best looking Protoss for the best looking games. Panzer 4G, Panzer 3L against the T-34-76. 15-9 here for Gonzo. Damn, the attrition on both sides is just insane. These guys trade blow for blow for blow. With action all over the field. Like, that's always what amazes me. How they are able to manage it and have action all over the field. We're always giving the right orders. Karma getting the town slowly but surely back. Did Gonzo maybe overextend a bit? Like, it looked way better like 5 minutes ago than it does now. The D5 could have gotten hand-to-head with the P41. Now it has to be careful. P41 is one of the most agile fighters here, so in a fight it can kill off a JD7 if it gets behind. You want to fly head-to-head with a D5. No! No, Karma. Well, good micro once again, only taking a couple of bullets. Guess he's waiting for another tick so he can get another plane in. Another JU-87D5 coming in the north. The tick is now. Can he get out of this? Ooh, we should have turned in the other direction. I think he just realized it. He thought about turning in the other direction because he realized, oh yeah, no, that's where the 37mm is. And I think that's the end of the D5. Yeah, D5 goes down after getting another strafe from the P40 and then getting shot down by the 37mm. D5 and north also in trouble. Where's the G2? G2 should be ready now again. No AA on the ground to help out, even though you have Flak 43s. But Gonzo doesn't think his P41 will be fast enough, so he calls it back. So the J87D5 in the north survives for now. 12-12 is where we are at, but it's not a clean 12-12. With Karma losing the flag over here. Gonzo losing the flag in the town. Really a messy game, but not on the level of like, oh, both sides make so many mistakes, but both sides forcing the enemy into so many awkward spots time and again and again. And such amazing moves like the double SVT spot, taking out the position here of Karma early on in the game. These players just are eye to eye with each other. And I don't know who's ahead. Like, it feels like Karma is coming out ahead now again. But it's just ever so slightly. It's every slight edge has to be fought over so hard in this match. And he's lucky that the board is... If the board stallion would have died, Karma would have lost the North. But with the board stallion holding on here and not getting, like, if he would have gotten gun jam trade or so, that would have also been pretty bad. But transmission damage trade, getting transmission damage at the spot where it got, it still is in a useful position, making it really annoying for Gonzo in the North. And Karma back to a 14-10. Lucky in the South getting pinned down. So yeah, if I would have to give it a percentage, I would say it's a 60-40 at the moment for Karma. But Gonzo still absolutely is in the game. Pack 40 now we're engaging ISU 122S, which is a dangerous engagement for both sides, but it's one of the best engagements Germans can hope for against an ISU, I think, because the ISU has a long reload time and the Pack 40 has a chance of penetrating it. So maybe it wants to engage on a bit lower range, like 304 meter less. And the ISU 122S at least has a bit better reload time. It's still a shitty reload time, but together with the P40N now, it will win the fight. Taking out the Pack 40 here with this shot. Flag 43 finally shows up here, so the JOT-75 can maneuver more easily around. Ooh, but I wouldn't quite put my money on the Flag 43 just helping. Oh my god, is it getting shut down just before? Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, that was a mistake by Karma. Oh my god. Whew. Gonzo, the lucky bastard there, just a second before his P41 got pinned down. He got the shutdown on the JOT-75. That would have been devastating, losing the ISU 122S there. But ooh, that was nice. Though at the same time, he's losing the North completely. Still having some units behind enemy lines though, but Automachiki's getting caught before they got into the forest. That's bad news. Karma up to a 16-8. If he would have gotten the ISU, I would say this is next to game over. Now, it still is somewhat winnable at some point, but for sure the cards show are in favor of Karma right now. ISU 122S coming in now, trying to save the North. 3 Panzer 4Hs for sure eat these T-34s, especially without Veteran C alive, but the ISU in the longer range engagements can help out. The second ISU shows up for Gonzo as well. 15-9 now for Karma. T-34 coming around, engaging onto the Pioneer SVT. This mess all over the map is just so amazing. Realizing that the enemy has a weak spot there, trying to punch through, the enemy trying to hold on as good as possible, giving up territory left, right and center. T-34 now taking this territory back and circling the one Ersatztruppen here, bringing it back to 14-10. Yeah, Gonzo hasn't given up, and it's, as I said, not hopeless. It's a tougher position now for him for sure, by losing this territory here up in the north. Maybe, but as long as Karma hasn't fully dug in here, it's still a situation where he can recover from. And T-34 coming in for flank here maybe could be really, really nice. How's it going in the south? Karma slowly but surely pushing forward. No Ratchetkas left here, so no bazooka traps he can run into anymore, but he wants to keep his infantry in front of his other units. SDKFZ should be a bit closer to the infantry, I think. Ooh, but Panzer IV now has to engage an ISU from Gonzo, and one hit of the ISU and you're dead. But ooh, penetration against the ISU. Now this one is also only one shot away from going down. With the Panzer IV obviously having the quick reload time, especially with the 2-star veterancy advantage. So the ISU has to be careful, gets the kill though. But this one is close to death now. That's why Panzer IVs are always so nice to have, because they trade up so well. They don't trade well against light AT guns or anything like that, but they trade up well against stuff like ISUs or Panthers or Tigers. 13-11 here for Karma. Gonzo is starting to push back a bit. And this situation in the north is just absolutely awkward, with Gonzo getting his forces reconnected to the front line, actually taking this flag over here after taking out the last remaining Panzer IV of Karma on the hill with his infantry alone. Bit of sloppy play there maybe by Karma, but well played by Gonzo for sure. Getting himself back into this game. This is just such an intense game. Enemy 109 coming in onto the Automachiki. Pulling it off here. P40N has to fall back. P40N coming around. ME109 might not survive this. Would be another nice kill here for Gonzo in the air. Yeah, I don't think the ME109 survives this. Yeah, ME109 goes down. Nice kill there for Gonzo. Karma going a bit too overeager into this. Another slight victory for Gonzo. Crawling his way back deeper and deeper into this game. And this is why Gonzo is so annoying. Like, in a position where other people are ahead, Gonzo already has won. In a position where other people, where other games are even, Gonzo is basically ahead. And in a game where he's behind, he's even. Like, that's how it feels against Gonzo. To quote Atosis's comment about Maru here, because Gonzo is basically the Maru of Steel Division in his playstyle. P2 flying back. Where is it striking? What's the plan with the P2? So he actually wants to bomb the Boy Stalin. And there's no Flak 43s just yet. Flak 43 is coming up, but that's not gonna hinder this one from getting its bombs out. But the Flak 41 gets some shots off. It's actually in the end not hitting the Boy Stalin. This P3 also hitting the hill up. Flak 43 going down. Boy Stalin now in trouble. Lucky's getting hit. Flak 43 and Flak 41 coming up. And Karma tries to get the hill back. 13-11 still for Karma. But it looks like an even game again. Ooh, and this juicy 203mm off map from Gonzo in the south might be devastating in the KB1. This looks like a really juicy 203mm off map for Gonzo in the south. And Boy Stalin goes down to bombing run of a P2 as well. 2 ISU 122 showing up now here. Will give Gonzo the upper hand here in the armored fight. And Gonzo really getting his way back. Killing the Pak 43. Killing the Boy Stalin. Flak 43 now exposed. And infantry pushing in here as well. So the Pak 40 can't really do much as well. And it looks like Gonzo's taking back the north. And with that, getting ahead most likely in this game. As he's also pushing in the south again. Gonzo crawling his way back in here. Trade by trade. Making it one more even. And by now it looks like he's ahead again. Now after getting the shutdown onto the plains, killing the Boy Stalin, killing quite a lot of forces. Looks like he's in the better position again with all the armored forces he has in the north. Flak 41 showing up, but that's a lot of T-34s firing against it. We will have to see how it goes. Well, first one goes down, but ISU is around here now as well. Tolki's getting pinned down. ISU survives this shot. Therefore might pin down the Flak 43 here. Not quite. ISU does so, but ISU goes down as well. So Flak 41 at least got that last service done. But Karma loses another plane, loses the Flak 41. Pack 43 coming up now. He's also on the way of losing this hill again, losing the Pack 40 in the process. Gets the ISU 122 in the last second though. At least giving him some hope of getting back here. Martyr's coming in. He still has a Cape forces up here. Killing off both ISUs is important. I don't think Gonzo has any ISUs remaining in his deck, so big boys are out on both sides, and the better medium tanks are on the side of Karma. But Gonzo has air control, and Gonzo has way more infantry right now on the field. Together with this annoying off-map in the south, killing off Flak 43s. It's a 12-12 situation, but Gonzo is a bit ahead. Gonzo is a bit ahead here. And this is a lot of forces coming in here. Kills the T-34 with the Panzer 3N. Nice kill there, but has to be careful now with the Panzer 3N. It is running out of heat shells. Gets the kill just before it dies as well, so killing off two T-34s with a Panzer 3N. Absolutely amazing for Karma. Gets the flags over here, but that's just so much infantry coming in for Gonzo. How is it going in the south? Oh my god, Gonzo's also pushing in the south. Panzer 3L on the way back. Gonzo also... Well, the forces down here are rather even. The question is, how much can these Tolkis achieve in the north? Twelki against SDKFZs. Most Twelkis showing up. Yeah, that's Truppen holding the hill over here. IG-18 showing up. Pack 43 should retreat here. Can't do much on the position here. The half-track's really important for Karma, I think. Half-track really help out in a game like this. Ooh, Flak 41 wanted a bit too much here. Losing this is really annoying here. Because Gonzo has air control, and yeah, losing AA pieces like this really hurts. And I think it was absolutely unnecessary to have the Flak 41 this far forward. Because, yeah, Gonzo has so many P3s and P2s, and Karma already lost so many planes, so hitting them in the air is already hard, and now hitting them from the ground is even harder. All the amazing AA of Karma is dying. Flak 41s, Flak 43s. And with air superiority, 7th Mechanized is just really hard to play against. E2 dropping the bombs on the hill. And it looks like Gonzo might win this game. Looked grim for a couple of minutes, but yeah, it was just such a back and forth. And now it looks pretty good. Karma is still not completely out here, but it's a rough position. It's a really rough position for him here now. Are the automatic? No, not quite in range for an AT grenade. Ooh, is Karma reacting in time? Ah, he gets the pin down. Gonzo retreating here. And the 3L over here is also dangerously close to the Automatiki. Karma not quite microing here in the south, looks like. Occupied elsewhere. But he doesn't have much in the north. Like, yeah, he doesn't have the forces in the north. Not with 100 points income per minute. It seems like Gonzo did it. It seems like Gonzo did it. Panzer 3L going down over here. Panzer Grenadiers should go down over here in a second as well. Su-76 and KV-1 pushing into the Panzer 4 over here is also rather nasty. Panzer 4 goes down. And that's it for the south. That's it for the north as well. Damn! 59 for Gonzo. Looks like it's over. Woo! What a comeback. Like, what amazing game from both sides once more. But also, what a comeback from Gonzo from a really nasty position for a while here in the north. It's just like last season, guys. These guys really deliver on the final. Just not with a messy game yet. Not, like, Maybe game number 3 is just as messy as it was last season. That was just one of the most craziest game I've ever seen. Maybe we see that once more. With both sides having so many silly slip-ups, but so far this is absolutely worth it of the finals, with both guys delivering one of the highest level Division 2 I've ever seen. 13-11, Gonzo keeping it up. E2 now maybe in trouble. Maybe 109 seems to get behind it. Ah, not quite. Not quite. Second MV109 might be able to do so. AA fire onto the E3 also. Ah, but I don't think so. I think Kama has to stop this hunt. Yeah, Kama has to stop the hunt. That's always the issue of the G2. Doesn't have quite enough firepower to kill stuff. It's a rather fast plane, but it just doesn't have the firepower. It will be a bit different now with the new attack angles. The speed is more important for hunting down bombers because it has a smaller turn radius against those, and it cannot be out-microed as easily. But in the end, this game didn't work out in this, as this is still played on the old patch. And Gonzo is on the way of winning this game. Oh my god, and this was the worst. Oh wow, this was the worst fallback order Kama has given ever to a plane. Losing both ME-109s. Oh my god. Or was he running out of fuel? No matter what the reason for this fallback was, it was disastrous in this position. Giving the P-41 perfect lineup onto both of these. Mother getting strafed down now from top. And yeah, this game is over. Kama is still trying to figure it out if there maybe is a chance somewhere, somehow, but no, there isn't. I mean, he doesn't see what we see, but what we see looks rather grim for him. And we have a series at hand, guys. It looks like we will go into a 1-1 situation for game number 3. Which is amazing. Like, 3-0 finals are always a bit boring, but already having it at a 1-1 makes that an impossibility, hopefully. And we have a real series at hand. Panzer 4H as Mamada's coming around. E40N strafing the IG-18 down here. 16-8 here for Gonzo. And there's just too much on the field for him. Mamadas can't really be used. Flak 41 now coming up, but that doesn't deter the Air Force from hitting the south further. There's already enough on the south. Hold on for quite a while here. P40 now hitting the Pak 43 in the south. 52P now engaging as well. Onto the retreating Pak 43. And yes, Kama is in trouble here. Pak 43 kills this Studebaker. 16-8 for Gonzo. 4:29 on the clock. Looks like it's the beginning of the end. Pak 43 getting strafed. Oh no, it's not the beginning, but yeah. P3 now hitting the north. I'm so happy that we get into a 1-1 position here. Like in no world is Gonzo letting this slip up. It's... Pak 43 gets to hit the north. 3 minutes 55 remaining. Commander coming in here. Oh boy. Like, I think there were quite a couple of other players also that could also have gotten to the finals. I was always feeling a bit bad because I wished for this final to happen again. I'm so happy we actually got here because it was the best final we ever had in any tournament last season, and seeing this one again is just so amazing. These players really are the best Division 2 has to offer at the moment. And they deliver time and again. Both half tracks here engaging the Automachikis. Kama really trying with tooth and nail, but the numbers just are against him by now. Way too heavily that he can't do anything but delaying the inevitable. 16-8 for Gonzo. 2 minutes 48 on the clock for Kama. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. E3 coming in the north will hit Panzer 4H. Like 41 tries to stop it from that, but it doesn't seem to be capable of doing that. Panzer 4 goes down. Marder will now be overrun by T-34s. At least gets one, but then it falls to the revenge of the next T-34. And Gonzo now just overruns the whole north. Automachikis over here will hold on for quite a while to this flag. 16-8 for Gonzo. Kama breaks through on the hill, but there's still 4 T-34s here. There's way more infantry for Gonzo. There's all the Air Force. Automachikis keep on holding to this flag. 1 minute 48. Even if he gets it back to a 14-10, by now the time is just too low to do anything. It will give him an edge. Like this flag might be able to take back with this Panzer 4. Kama really fighting here. Actually doing pretty well. T-34 is maybe a bit out of position here for Gonzo. A bit unnecessary. But with the Air Force, he knows he has it in the bag. After killing both the last fighters, now killing off the last AAPs as well. More T-34s showing up. 59, 1 minute 8 on the clock. Looks like it will go to 14-10 for a couple of seconds at least, as this flag is about to fall. Maybe even back to a 12-12 for a while, but another P3 and another P2 showing... Oh no, that's the already used up P2, but another P3 showing up. Panzer 4 over here dying. Marder in the south will have a rough time as well, surviving this P3 bombardment. And 35 seconds on the clock. Marder getting hit. Even in the last couple of minutes, Kama still showed why he's such a strong player, like not giving up here. Fighting still a pretty good last couple of minutes in this game, just after being a bit too far behind. Marders really are good now. Like, Marders are such good tank destroyers, you have to find a solution other than tanks to deal with them. And for the price, that's amazing. Like, 45 points for shutting down enemy tank play is pretty nice. Three seconds remaining, and here we go. Gonzo taking game number 2, making this whole thing a series. And yeah, KD speaks clearly in his favor as well, but yeah, the early game was way closer than this. GGVP to both players for this amazing series. GG! So yeah, damn, I'm really looking forward to game number 3. And to game number 4 that we for sure will get. And hopefully game number 5. But that's up to these two guys. Because anything, like every game they will give us, I take. And really looking forward for the next game that we will get into in 5 minutes, guys. See you there in game number 3. So here we return. Kama versus Gonzo. Game number 3. Ciano is the map. And we finally have an allies versus allies. So that Vulcan's viewers will at least be able to scream in anger one time in the finals. Otherwise it would be boring, right? If we don't see 50 comments in Vulcan's channel being pissed about it. So, let's go. We have Kama in red on the right side as the third guards mechanized. And on the left side, Gonzo returns once more with the 7th mechanized. ISU wanted to ask already on the board. Against Shermans though, I think 7th mechanized will struggle a bit. I think 7th mechanized will struggle a bit, but we will have to see. It's for sure 2 top level mechanized divisions, that's for sure. And let's see how it goes. Both sides again joining in with Vanguard. So let's see what you guys think. Will Gonzo take it once more, or will Kama make it another 2-1 like he did last season? Gonzo or Kama, who do you guys think will take game number 3? $52 please. Taking a bit too long for the bonbon in my mouth. Strikey's going in the south. Ognomachiki coming up in the north. 52p's here. Fitting around. M3A1 pushing in here. How deep can they go? That's just a lot of forces from Kama. 4 Shermans here. You for sure can see where his aggression is going to. But his north is nearly undefended. That's a classic Kama. Hoping that Gonzo will take a bit too long for realizing it. But Gonzo usually not the guy to do so, and he has so many forces up here. I cannot expect Gonzo to leave this push in the south unanswered in the north. And then we will have to see for whom this situation pans out better. There's 5 flags here. So there's a lot of flags to take for Gonzo, but it's an annoying territory to fight over. But there's only 2 flags down here, like maybe 4 if you go really deep, for Kama. But it's way easier to defend these than to defend the position that Gonzo's going into here when he goes up the hill. So it's... Ciano always is an interesting map. It's one of my favorites because it has quite a bit of a different feel than other maps to it. M42 getting hit here now. 52p's joining in. It's a 12-12 as Kama gets the flag over here. Gonzo gets the flag over here. And ooh, Gonzo gets an Emcha kill. This is important. Every Emcha kill is an Emcha you don't have to push into later. But Redguard trying to get a kill onto another one. Ooh, they get a shot out and again another kill. Gonzo making the best out of a bad situation. Making the best out of a really shitty situation. Killing 2 Emchas there. Really sloppy play there by Kama maybe. But for sure a really good play there by Gonzo. A bit sloppy play there by Kama, but damn. Making the best out of a bad situation there is Gonzo. Strokey is engaging the Guardians. M42 already has fallen with the 52p and ISU 122 fire. Guardia over here also heavily outgunned by the Strokey SVTs. So Kama will lose flags in the north. Question is, how can Gonzo respond to the push over here? 2 T-34s for sure will not cut it. Cis-2 now face unloading onto them. Cis-2 over here gets bombed by P3 though, from Gonzo. Valentine on the way. P2s and P3s will be once again an annoyance for Kama. Third mechanized really not having the best air tap in the game. And yeah, dealing with them will be a bit annoying, that's for sure. Emcha now pushing forward, T-34 trying to disengage. But Shvedka coming up back here to try to protect the flag against the Emchas pushing into it. Emcha getting a penetration onto the T-34. M2A1 though is falling. And you guys, again, are voting for Gonzo to win this. 3-2 though, this time only, so it's really close. Strelky's pushing in here. Gonzo getting the hill on the north. Guardia's getting hit. I don't think it's too unbalanced as a map. It's not mirrored, that's for sure. Like, these flags are closer to the front line, yeah. But it also means you have an easier way of getting into this town. And then pushing out from it. Like, sure, if in an early game push it's harder for the blue side, but in a long game, I think it's a bit easier for the blue side. So, I don't think it's too imbalanced of a map. I think it's pretty fair. Valky's over here engaging the Partisanis. Ooh, Cis2 has to be careful. Gonzo, hopefully Karma realizes that Gonzo still has Strelky's there. It seems like he's trying to deal with it. Cis3 here. Killing one of the last two Amchas of Karma. Gonzo really, again, good in wiggling the forces down. Karma now in the counter push in the north though, and Gonzo didn't brought enough forces into this to really hold on to this. So Karma is up to a 59. E34-76 is pushing forward. Automachiki getting hit. Last Sherman falls in the south. Last Sherman is going down here. Valky's getting hit by the Guardias. Two Cis2s though might be able to hold the ground for a while for Karma, but another PA3 coming up will deal with the first one of those, and this is really annoying here for Karma. His southern push not really panning out as expected. Question is, how well can he trade up here in the north? I mean, obviously the first couple of trades weren't too good, but now he has a Sherman's around. Now he has nearly the same amount of infantry as Gonzo, but Gonzo's infantry prevails for now. E34 is forced back, but obviously the Shermans can't go over the ridge because the ISU 122 is awaiting them on the other side. Cis3 over here for Gonzo paid off pretty well. It's back to a 13-11. Tango de Saniki's coming in here. Guardia pushing in as well. Guardia coming in the south. Together with Automachiki. Partisani joining in here as well. Redgar's getting hit. Strelky SVT hitting the Guardias over here. Tango de Sanikis will get unloaded. Gonzo really wanting to fight over this position of the map. Not giving it back to Karma too easily. And the first time in the game, Gonzo is up to a 13-11. So Karma is pressuring him in the south once more. Era Cobra trying to get the P3, and it actually might get it. Yeah, gets behind, gets a nice crit there. Denisov tries to get the revenge kill. Will be able to. Noye on the ground to help out. And I think the P39 should be able to escape here. Karma nearly... Was that turn too long? No, I think the P39 should be still fast enough. Yeah, Gonzo thinks so as well. Disengages with the P39. Rather starts to hunt units on the ground. Going for the Automachiki. Not quite hitting them though. Guardia getting hit by T34. And it's back to a 12-12. Over here the engagement is going pretty well for Gonzo though. Gets the German, gets quite a couple of infantry. His infantry finally gets pushed out of the forest by the Partisanis. But overall the trades here are pretty decent for him. In the south, he got his way back, but down here he took a couple of casualties now. And losing the P3 is rather annoying, because really this air advantage is something that would be a somewhat easier way to victory for sure in the long run with the 7th Mechanized. Because trading with Shermans and Valentines on the ground takes a lot more skill than just, like, getting air dominance and then taking that home. Like, getting the air dominance takes skill, but then, like, once you have it, it's way easier to get that home than getting the trade once, time and again with T-34s versus Shermans and Valentines. 12-12 it is. Sherman engaging onto the 52P. And 38 here, sitting in the back. And Karma is up to a 13-11. T-34-76 is over here. Will stop the Partisanis, and a single Amshar shouldn't come around the corner there. Ooh, ISU came over the field, okay. So Gonzo really wants to go for all-out aggression now. Not quite sure if that's the right choice, but we will see in a second. Gets the Amshar, wow. Why did the Amshar take longer than the T-34 to shoot? That was awkward, to say the least. But that means that Gonzo will take this territory, at least for a while. Gets himself to a 12-12. Whilst Karma is continuously pushing in the south. Like, really, the map being kind of split from one corner to one corner. More than vertically. Adizani is getting killed over here. Machikis tried to exploit it. Tried to get Gonzo as much ground as possible for as cheap as possible. Could even take all these 3 flags here, I think. But he wants to go for the safe bet of the flag over here. Su-85 is showing up here now for Karma. With another Sis-2. So the tanks of Gonzo have to be careful now. Sis-2 really dangerous against the ISU 122. And Su-85 also can penetrate it. With a bit higher rate of fire. Shooter knocked out onto the ISU, so the ISU has to retreat, and the T-34s alone will not be able to win this fight. L4 also now coming out for Karma. So Gonzo is getting pushed back here. P2 coming in for him. Ooh, but that one is going really deep. And the P39 coming in once more. Is that... yeah, that might be another dead bomber here for Gonzo, and that would be really, really shitty. Su-85 at least gets killed off. Sis-2 also should die here to the bombs. P40N will try to save the P2. P2 can avoid the engagement with the air cobra. L4 should stay around, just for the MG fire alone, maybe. Air cobra versus P40N, together with P3 that also tries to hunt it down. But P3 obviously being a really shitty fighter. Air Cobra gets the first shot onto P40N and another Air Cobra showing up. So the P3, and I don't understand the P3 call in like that. Was a bit too much. Maybe he should have just disengaged with the P40 when he was here. Now he loses the P40 and most likely also the P3. Which doesn't teleport out in time. P39s take a while to catch up. And Karma falls off the engagement. Trelkis hitting onto the red gas. Both T-34s have fallen by now, thanks to the Valentine and the IL-4. But Gonzo is up to a 16-8, thanks to all the ground he took in the north, whilst keeping on the defenses in the south with only two flags down in the hands of Karma. He's nearly taking all the flags on the northern and the central part of the map. So, Karma in a rough spot here. Karma in a rough spot. Valentine sitting around. Neither Karma nor Gonzo is a guy to panic. So, I would take that bet. And so far, none of the moves here really show panic. Like, he's not pushing desperately down here. He's not putting anything desperately in here. T-39s maybe could be... yeah, like he's trying to... back it then, like that's played on a patch where airplanes couldn't drive tanks, so that doesn't work out for him. Denisov coming in once more. 9-15. I mean, force-wise, it doesn't look too bad for Kama still. He won the air war. So far, he still has a lot of forces in the south, like more than Gonzo. And in the north, he got attrition onto Gonzo's forces as well. And now with a 14-10, I mean, his flag here, these two flags are only held by one single Akumachiki. If he gets that back, it's back to a 12-12. So really, there's no need to panic here, and Kama isn't panicking. From the looks of it. Otomachiki now coming in the north. Or no, Tenku no Seniki. Onto Tenku no Seniki action. Getting this flag back. 11-13. As he gets this flag back here as well. And this flag should fall soon as well. And then it's back to a 12-12. Gonzo now starting to the counter push over here. T-34s moving forward. Kama is dug in here with Valentine's, but no infantry is left over here. Tenku no Seniki is the first one coming in, but that should not go that deep. Like, that should go into this part of the map. He gets the flag back here, so it's back to a 12-12. Emcha is engaging Tenku no Senikis, but will get engaged by an ISU. That's not healthy for an Emcha. You don't want to get engaged by an ISU 122S. Second Sherman comes in, but Kama should disengage here, I think. Wait for the Valentine to come around. Then maybe do it again. Emcha really lucky to not get hit with the second shot. Because any hit means you're dead as an Emcha against ISU 122. T-34 is also now coming around. ISU maybe should disengage here for Gonzo. It's in an annoying spot where it can get pinned down from one side if the Valentine moves further forward. Denisov trying to pin down the Tenku no Senikis, not quite managing it. Gonzo back up to a 13-11. But yeah, this game will not be decided by this. Like, it looks like this game will get into attritional warfare, and ISU 122 falls to the bad guys. Gonzo a bit sloppy there, not microing that one backwards. And that brings Kama fully on back into this game. With Gonzo now looking a bit stronger in the south, but he first has to cross this field. Valentine getting the first attritional kill onto another T-34 there. After the other Valentine has fallen here. First. Valentine over here now using its HE shells against Trolkeys. Not dealing too much damage, but it's damage after all. Same over here. Like, the HE shell of the 6-pounder is pretty abysmal, but better having some than having none. Otomachikis here running into two Tenku no Seniki squads. Shouldn't be too healthy for them. At least they dodge both of the Molotovs by jumping into the building, but that's still too much PPSH firepower. One IL-4 and two escorting Cobras should protect this bombing strike. So far, no AA in the south for either side. Gonzo by now has brought out 237mm in the open here, but that's a dangerous spot to put your AA into, because if you get run over here, then your AA also dies with it. So I don't know if I like this, but I think I would have liked it more behind the buildings over here. This one is too far forward, or like too far out in the open. IL-4 gets hit. Maybe even here would have been better. P3s and P2s coming in, but the air Crowbar's trying to catch up. First one should be pinned down, but the second one might get behind, and yeah, it looks like it. And the P2 should go down here. Another nice kill for Kama. Another bit sloppy play here from Gonzo in that regard. This is the P39 at least pays for it with its life. The AA gets the kill there. Two one-star veterans AA guns have quite a firepower. So it's a plane for plane, but losing a P2 hurts way more than losing a P39. Especially in this state of the game. And we're getting, again, close to the 20-minute mark. ISU 122 getting another Emcha. We're getting again close to the 20-minute mark. Where both sides' income will take another nosedive, and then that means that what is on the ground is really, really important to preserve, because your reinforcements come in so slowly, and at some point you also will run out of them. So both sides have to think more about trades now, especially in a 12-12 situation, or 13-11 right now for Karma situation. Ooh, and this is a big blow. Losing 2 Shermans within 1 second here is really annoying at this point. IL-4 coming in once more, but even an IL-4 has to be careful when there's 2 37mm with 1's direction-C. It at least gets its bombs dropped, but already trailing black smoke. I think it should get out, but it will take a while to repair. And with some lucky crits, the 37mm actually can get the kill there. Gonzo's Radretka here is really nasty. Will get the kill onto assist 2 here, most likely. Guardia out of position there. Nice kill there for Gonzo. Nice idea with the assist 2 shutting down this reinforcement road, but also nice reaction there from Gonzo getting the kill onto this. Radretka versus Guardia here. Matcherino should go down, but they got their job done. Yeah, it was pretty nice here for Gonzo. 13-11 now for Karma. 37mm finally gets engaged. That's what I was talking about. Well, I'm not talking about putting them into forest mashup, but just on the edge of the forest. On the edge of the forest, they're fine. Like putting them in here, they can. They can retreat through it, maybe. Or on the edge of this forest here. So they can retreat through it and lose line of sight. Ones are now moving this 37mm into the forest, the first one obviously going down. And Karma has superiority here now. In the south, P39 versus P3. 2 37mm here now for Gonzo as well, though. So the P39 has to be careful. Goes down as well, so that's nice for Gonzo. Taking out the fighter forces of Karma for now. And Gonzo also with another push in the south setup. With T-34s and Strelkys and Automatikis. These guys always thinking about the next step somewhere on the map. Preparing it, micromanaging all over the place. Nice Partizani here spotting for Karma behind Gonzo's line. Doesn't have quite the forces to just go for it and check this out. Automachiki going down, 2 Strelkys and Automachikis of Gonzo. Karma reinforcing the south. And these Tenko Tesanikis really help out here in this fight. Automachiki over here has to retreat. SU-76 is showing up for Gonzo. These guys have to be careful. They don't want to get caught out in the open. Ooh. One going down in transport, the other one, I think Karma isn't looking right now. Ah, okay, now he realizes it. Will lose a couple more men on it. 2 DHE rounds, but at least he will not lose both spots completely. L4 now coming in once more for Karma with the bombing run. But this one is going deep into enemy territory, so this time the 37mm might actually be able to take it out. Trailing black smoke already. Not quite as fast as P2s and P3s. And there it goes. IL-4 down. So nice shutdown there for Gonzo this time on the Air Force. Both sides having attrition on every front. Infantry attrition, tank attrition, Air Forces air units going down. Time and again. Such a bloody good 1v1 once more. 23 minutes in. 12-12. T-34 is pushing into MCHAs. They have the upper hand when it comes to numbers, especially now that the first MCHA already gives up. Second MCHA in trouble as well. Now disengaging and Karma realizing that he might get it out and have it fight another day. So the 37mm surely comes in on the wrong time now. Right when this position gets pushed by tanks. Bit unfortunate there for Karma. Ooh, also coming in with another bombing run with an IL-4. It was rather grave there. At least this IL-4 will get out, but after losing one just 2 minutes earlier, that was quite a dangerous mission there to fly for this IL-4. Kudos to these this crew of that bomber going into that sector. Automachiki coming from behind, but Amsha already going down. Not before taking out another T-34 though. But still a good trade for Gonzo for sure, especially as he also takes out the 37mm. Karma under pressure here in the south now again. But he's taking control slowly but surely over the north. The last ISU 122S is showing up for Gonzo. He only has 3 in his decks, if it's the same deck as last game, I think. At least we only saw 3 last game. So, this will be interesting. 14-10 now for Karma. Gonzo's off-map showing off now. (13-11) for Mr. Karma. SU-85 moving forward. Amcha coming up as well. P3 bomber coming in the north. No AA to do anything about it, but the P3 also doesn't have a target right now. But Tama's forces look rather soft here once more, as the ISU took out another Sherman. Automachiki over here gets engaged. And the 3 Guardian squads should be enough to deal with them. Ooh, but this Sherman has to be careful. Might just run into this Automachiki that Karma doesn't have on his radar anymore. Okay, it stopped in time. 12-12 it is, once more, between Karma and Gonzo in this game number 3. Redka coming back. Siniki's getting pushed back as well. Automachiki's getting pushed back here. ISU 122 engaging the Guardias. 12-12 it is. Strelky on Strelky action. Gonzo with the 203mm off-map, and that might break this position for Karma, as Gonzo has more and more forces coming up here. So one ISU 122 here, one ISU 122 here. Karma in the last couple of minutes really not getting the better out of the trades, but position is still okay. So it looks quite a bit better right now for Gonzo. My name is Proto Soccer. I'm a top 50 player in Steel Division, and I'm organizing all those tournaments together with the other guys from the SD League, and since 2 years now also commentating them. Mr. Pitita. L4 coming in the north, or 1.5 years by now. Early last year I started. Welky's coming in here. Trying to surrender all the Guardias. Not quite managing, still falling back, but Gonzo will get this position for sure. Misses Pitita then. Or Pitita. Okay. Pitita. Guardia DP getting pushed in the north. Guardia versus Tralky action here will now ensue in the forest. Amcha coming up. (13-11) here for Gonzo. Karma still having a good spot in the north, but in the center Gonzo's off-map really put Karma in a rough spot. He needs some good bombing runs now, I think, to help him back into holding this position. 13-11 for sure is rather nasty. Partizani's moving up. Gonzo moving forward with his KB-1S. And a lot of forces coming in over here now as well. This is one of these situations where when you're playing against Gonzo, you're like, oh my god, Where does this all come from? Does he play with double the income, or how did that happen? But it was just like nice planning, nice setup, and then everything just comes in at the right time, in the right amount to break you. But Karma fights on, and starts to put attrition onto these forces. Starts to take out T-34s. Starts to take out infantry forces in the open. Gonzo now responding with another off-map onto this territory. Which is not the best off-map position though, I think. Especially now... Oh, that's unnecessary. Bombing the same position that you were off-mapping in 22 seconds anyways. I hope he cancels this off-map, because there's nothing left alive after these bombs. To actually fight in this position. Is he also mortaring it? Oh no, that's his 3-5 was firing upon it. I hope he cancels this off-map, because this off-map is wholly unnecessary. Thank you there, EM McDougall123, for the follow. Much appreciated. He doesn't. This is a mistake by Gonzo. Putting the off-map in this sector is absolutely unnecessary and a utter waste of a good 203mm off-map. Karma coming in now with his own off-map against it. P3 bomber getting its bombs dropped onto the Partisanis is quite annoying here for Karma, with 3 Partisanis at once getting pinned down by it. More Guardias coming up. Karma's off-map will strike here, but his 37mm might not live to see it, as it's still under fire by the KV-1. And his forces here are really low. 4 Guardias coming up and Emcha coming up as well. In the north it's a stalemate, nobody can really do anything about it, but it's all about how well can Karma defend in the next couple of minutes in the south. How well can his off-maps stop Gonzo in its tracks, and how much time will he have to build up forces again, get into the counter push later on. Or will there be even a counter push, or will just Gonzo push from now on out and push to the finish line over on the other side of the map. SG-43 over here, getting hit by Sis-3s. Rocky's hitting the Automachikis. Guardian number 1 gets taken out of the truck. Guardian number 2 getting taken out of the truck. That's really painful for Karma in the situation where we are in right now. Emcha on T-34 action over here. Both sides bounce for a second here. Sherman finally gets the victory in the end. Another off-map for Karma coming in the south. M42s and more Shermans coming in. As long as there are Shermans, I would never count a division out. As long as the 3rd Mechanized has Shermans, everything is possible. So, I wouldn't count Karma out yet, but yeah, for sure the favor... Gonzo is in like a 75-25 or maybe even an 80-20 spot by now when it comes to this game. Automachiki getting annihilated here though, out in the open. This off-map might be nice for Karma. Might allow for a slight counter push here in the south. He has to be really careful though with any aggressive moves. Gets the KV-1, that is also pretty neat. That's also pretty neat. And Gonzo's deck doesn't have tanks for days, and if you can kill all the other tanks and the Gonzo is left on only T-34s, then your M-Chas can trade so well. So Gonzo has to be careful about that. Like losing the KV-1 now, really painful. If he loses the ISU-122 as well, and all the SU-76s, then this game might still be doable for Karma. But for now he's on a nice 14-10, and he has for sure the pressure on Karma. Northern position is pretty unbreakable for a long while now. But it's all about the south right now. Who can beat whom here in the south? Who trades better in the next couple of minutes? Losing the P-39 is for sure hurt here for Karma. Dralki getting killed off. 152mm off map coming in as well. Emcha going down to the red gun. Nice kill there for Gonzo. Another neat off map coming in here. That might be really well lined up. Losing the off map vehicle, but in the time where it doesn't matter. But okay, it hits the M42, doesn't hit the Emchas. That would have been way worse, I think, at this point for Karma. Can the Su-85 maybe kill a tank falling back after the off-map hits? 37mm gets killed off. Another Su-85 comes in. Well, T-34 is a bit exposed now. Don't want to have a fight between an Su-85 and a T-34. Su-85 has a way better accuracy, especially when it gets the first shot, and also better penetration chances. ISU 122 goes down to the off map. This is really bad for Gonzo. And really good for Karma, giving him a bit of hope back here in this game. I think this Su-85 would suck. That's for sure. Gets the T-34 killed. T-34 here from Gonzo tries to kill off the Su-85, but the other Su-85 is coming up as backup. And the MCHAs, the other two Partisanis, trying to break this off. Su-85 76 will not be enough against two MCHAs. At least got penetration into one, but now has to fall back as the accompanying T-34 went down. And both Su-85s now engaging the T-34, and this is not good for the T-34 of Gonzo. Gonzo not microing here. Bombs hitting the Strelky. Yeah. Air support from Karma arriving. 59 for Gonzo, but I don't think he can hold on that for too long. Karma grinding his way back into this. Actually managing. The off maps were really key. Like these three off maps from the 152mm couldn't have been much better. Really, really well placed off maps. Su-76 gets a penetration onto the next MCHA. Might be able to kill it here. Yeah, gets the kill. Important kill there for Gonzo. Every Sherman killed is one of the most important tools lost for Karma, who brings in another one back here. Both start to look rather slim on the front line. A couple more T-34s coming up, but as I said, T-34s are not here for tank fights. If you can get 2 onto 1 MCHA, then maybe. But in any other situation, you really don't want to have them. And one of them is occupied with the Su-85, the other one gets killed by the MCHA. Now the Su-85 gets a penetration in as well. Karma is pushing back here. He still has 14 minutes to get back one more flag to bring it back to a 12-12. Su-85 and Sherman's hitting the force over here. More Guardias coming up. MCHA following it as well. E44 76 moving in here. More Guardians moving against the Strelkies. MG42 sitting up the hill. 13-11 for Mr. Gonzo. 14-10 now. Brings in a couple of T-34s. It still looks pretty good for him, but it looked way better a couple of minutes ago. Sherman's really taxed his forces here. And yeah, in a situation like this, Shermans are just so annoying to deal with. When it gets down and dirty, Shermans are the best unit you can have on the battlefield. Nice hit on the Guardias. If his unit wouldn't have been pinned down, that would have been amazing. He could have surrendered 3 Guardia squads at once. Gets to kill on to an MCHA at least. And at least kills a couple of Guardias with the bombs, but yeah, killing the MCHA was the most important thing about this fight. Su-85s and Guardias pushing in here against Gonzo, who's still up to a 13-11. Loses another T-34 though to a Sherman. Sherman just so good against T-34s, thanks to the better aim time and better accuracy, and a bit better penetration power in a 1v1 duel, as the T-34 shell falls off a bit faster on range. Studebaker gets sniped by the Su-85, but another Sherman goes down, so Karma down to only 1 Sherman in the south. 2 more Valentines coming up. It might be that he's running out of Shermans here. With Gonzo still having quite a couple of T-34s left, but he's lost another T-34 down here. I think the Guardias got the kill there with an AT grenade. Yeah, they got one AT grenade out there, so that must have been what happened. 3 more T-34s coming in, but Karma is breaking through. He brings it back to a 12-12, and the T-34 over here is in trouble as well. Guardias trying to catch up, trying to get the articulator in. SU-85 already getting the kill. Getting hit by bombs afterwards, but they don't deal too much damage to it. So the M42 gets the kill. But he has now infantry here, where Gonzo is out of infantry. In the south, he catches one more of Gonzo's forces with infantry units with the Su-85. Brings in another Emcha in the south together with 2 Valentines. Karma has stabilized the front line. Karma is back in this game. Really well grinded. Gonzo maybe a bit overeager, maybe thinking that he already had won. A bit too overambitious in his push, and Karma lets him pay for it. With the power of the Sherman. Tells you, never underestimate a guy that has a Sherman. T-34's over here, coming in. He wanted to go for a 59, I think, a bit too badly there, Gonzo, and that was what made him pay so many of his forces now. With Karma actually having the upper hand back here, now in the south. Rockies will be hit by bombs. Su-85 hits the Strelke in the south. Emcha will hit there as well. L4 gets out. E2 will hit onto the Guardias, killing off one of them. And it's still a close game, but I think Karma is now the one in favor. Because he has the better combined arms here. He has an Su-85, he has Shermans, he has Valentines. Against only T-34s. The ISU-122 now being called into the south by Gonzo. As he really needs it here. Because this is where this game is decided. But that means that maybe at some point Karma can even push in the south, in the north once more. So at the moment both of them have forces that can't really do anything there. 2 Shermans coming in over here. People engage the Guardia. 2 T-34s engaging the Guardias in the building. SG-43 holds the line on fire onto the Strelkies. Another off-map for Gonzo. Will it be as effective as the first one? I mean, with the brother of this vehicle, everything started. With the other KV-1S coming down this road. The big push of Gonzo that got him in such a good position started. If he can do it once more, and there's possibility for this to happen, as there's another clump of units in here, he might be able to turn this game around once more. But he needs to be on point with his forces now, because I think both sides are starting to run low on some units, and I think the tanks on both sides especially are pretty low by now in number. As they used a lot of them lately. T-34s over here. Not engaging anything really. M42 over here. Not doing much either. P2 coming in. Will hit the M42 over here. One more T-34 coming in for Gonzo. 52P in the north to at least secure the north a bit more. Should be a kill on these units. P2 should get out safely. Yeah, M42 falls. SG-43 survives for now. Emcha coming around. But it's one Emcha against 3 T-34s as the Su-85 has fallen. So there's quite a bit of backup in this forest here for Karma. I'm not quite sure if Gonzo knows about it. I don't think he has spotted at least the Emcha. He might have spotted the 2 Valentines. And here comes the off-map for Gonzo. The next 203mm off-map. It should at least give him the 1311 back. He should be able to take this territory. 2 more Strelkies coming up. As always, well-timed to come in. But Karma, with a pretty well-timed counter off-map with his next 152mm off-map. Maybe 2 seconds earlier would have been nice, so that Gonzo doesn't have any window of opportunity to move in there, but that looks pretty well-timed. Like, he might have spotted to a 203mm and expected to call in. I think that's what he did, because he obviously calls in off-maps on his own units, but that should prevent at least the infantry from following the tanks, and if it's only the tanks coming in, then Kama should be able to deal with them. Another Sis-2 coming in the south, Rajvedka as well, so a bit more AT capabilities for Kama coming up over here. And now the off-map of Kama coming in, and Gonzo will be a bit confused for a second. Like, wait, is that my own off-map? Nope, it's Kama's, hitting your infantry here, stopping you from getting the breakthrough. That's even being hit by your own off-map still a bit, I think. But yes, this 152mm off-map was really effective in stopping the push from Kama, from Gonzo. Kama now the next off-map directly onto the flag, realizing that he might not be able to take it. Now changing it up to actually a bit more of an aggressive off-map, with Gonzo's off-map being off by quite a bit. Like, just like the last off-map. I hope again that he's cancelling this one, because this is not hitting anything. And I think with a better second off-map in the last game, he could have... Well, not in the last game. With the last off-map, 203mm, he could have won the game. Instead of wasting it on this forest. With a better off-map later on over here, or on the Shermans over here, he could have secured that game. Instead, this off-map will not do much, and the one of Kama looks perfectly lined up to hit a lot of targets at once. This will be pretty bloody. Might even kill a tank once more, and for sure will pin down all the infantry, and pin down a couple of tanks as well. Yeah, kills the Strelkies over here. Will put some damage onto the KV-1 as well. Forces it back. Gonzo changed target this time for his off-map. This is a way better target. His P3 will get out. This off-map was really, really good. Even got the T-34 now in the end. Sherman gets the kill onto KV-1S. Kama's counter off-map, really, really well done. Gets another T-34. Damn. Such a clutch off-map here. Such a clutch off-map. Well played by Kama. Breaking Gonzo's push completely, and might even be able to allow... This might even enable him to get a counter push in with the two Valentines showing up. Another MCHA coming up as well, so he will have the armor advantage for sure in the south if this 203mm doesn't kill all these three tanks. 37mm at least goes down, so Gonzo will be able to keep on bombing this terrain. Sis-2 should go down to this bombing run as well. But Galia's get a kill onto a T-34. So that's one more tank killed for Kama. One less tank for Gonzo on the battlefield to deal with this oncoming push. ISU 122 though, in a good spot to prevent the Valentines the way into the town. IL-4 now trying to come in with a bombing run. This is a really, really close game. IL-4 coming on with the bombing run onto the leaders. Should be able to pin that down. And yeah, doesn't kill the leader, but kills the M42 and the infantry squad right next to it. MCHA getting hit in the south. She has to show side armor here, and that's not good. Gets forced back. The M42 and the T-34 should be able to kill it off. MCHA in the north now also takes a fight with an ISU that is not favorable. Gets killed off there. Kama maybe a bit too early with his counter push here. Should have waited for these forces to show up. And now loses two MCHAs without getting much for it in return. Like, the IL-4s got the kills here, not... The MCHAs really didn't do much at all in the last couple of minutes. Both of these MCHAs did get quite a couple of kills earlier, so they already got their prize back, but they could have done more here. And we are still at 12-12. What a close game. Obviously the northern part of the map completely silent now, because both sides only have 100 points per minute, so they just don't have the points to get a force up in the north. Everything has to go down in the south here, with the strength of both sides crash into each other. Another Su-85 coming up, joined by Sherman. Valentine number 1 goes down, but the ISU has to be careful. On this range, the Valentine can be deadly. Ooh, Sherman in the south goes down as well though, so there's only one Sherman left for Kama right now on the battlefield, and that's the one over here. Once again, the favor of the game is shifting from Kama to Gonzo. After the off maps, Kama I think was really in a good spot once more, but now it's Gonzo back on top, with especially these 4 T-34s coming in here to try to get another breakthrough in the south. And this time, Kama is really low on forces. He still has the Valentines over here maybe to use. The Rajvetka kill on T-34 for sure is helpful. And he at least has one more Sherman left in his deck. And one coming up here. 2 Su-122s. The first of their kind coming up now for Gonzo. Might be just a card he forgot about in the support tab. Realizing that he actually has it in. Maybe it even is an A-phase card, so maybe we won't see more. Maybe it's a C-phase card for games that actually end up like this one. And then if he has 8 of them, that would be pretty neat. But Rajvetka's getting another kill onto a T-34 over here. T-3 bomber surviving the fire of the AA battery. Emcha is on the road. Off-map vehicle is changing position. I think it has one more barrage left. That should be onto this position here. Su-85 kills off the T-34. T-34 is getting stopped by Valentines. Valentines are just such good tank killers. T-34 is really... like, this is one of the worst matchups for T-34s, because they're even more expensive than Valentines. But Valentines have 25% more accuracy and nearly... no, exactly double the fire rate. So... and a better penetration. Like, everything is so far on the side of the Valentine that you really don't want to get into that fight. With all obviously being the trade-off that the T-34 is actually a pretty fast tank, and the Valentine doesn't have any meaningful HE values. Luck 3 now coming up. But Luck 3 can't stop a P2. It's just way too slow. 2 Su-122s, 1 ISU, and 3 T-34s. Against an Su-85, an Emcha, and a Valentine. Kama also rotating the 2 Valentines in the north. First Su-122 going down, second one also going down. Nice first blood here in this engagement for Kama. T-34 over here has also to be careful. And that balances out the forces here quite a bit. 2 more T-34s showing up for Gonzo. As we are at the 51-minute mark. And now really the decks should run thin, as they're both playing Vanguard decks. Now both sides might run low on infantry or be even out of it already. Both sides will run really low on tanks as well at this point. A couple more unvetted T-34s showing up for Gonzo over here. On Kama's side it's another Rajvetka, which so far have really helped him holding his position here. Getting kill after kill. Gonzo back up to a 13-11 thanks to this flag. Having Kama on an 8-minute timer. $37mm engaging the Strelky. T-34 getting a side shot, but not quite hitting the Su-85. Toujours getting hit. The Valentine has fallen though, so at least that danger is banished by Gonzo. Strelky getting hit. Again, nothing happening in the north. We don't miss anything up there. It's all about this part of the map. The lake and its surroundings. Another Emcha showing up for Kama. With PTRS being called in by Gonzo, so his deck must be really running out of stuff, because PTRS are not that useful at all at this point in the game. Also now, artillery leaders, yeah, that's all the signs of I'm running out of stuff. Guardia's pushing forward. P2 will hit the Sherman, so Sherman is down, so only one tank left. Can Gonzo save the last 7 minutes of this game, or will Kama get it back to a 12-12? Karma seems to have a bit more in his deck, at least. As he's at least still calling in Shermans and M42s, which are actually useful units at this point in the game. Will Karma win an attritional warfare game here? It's back to a 12-12. Isle 4 coming up. That's an unnecessary bombing run. That's hitting your own units there, Karma. And he's just running straight into it. Well, bombs land a bit onto the road, so not hitting his own units too much, but against the PTR squads it was also a really unnecessary bombing run in the first place. This Guardians would have solved that situation anyways. Yeah, it's Supply Drag, who, well, I mean, at least that's somewhat helpful for the ISU, and two 37mm. Okay. 52p once more in the north. More AA for Karma as well, to the front line, giving him a second 37mm in the fortified. And we're sitting here at this 12-12. 55 minutes in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 T-34s, an ISU-122, and now also another SU-122, so at least it's a B-phase card. So there should be one more. Against 2 Shermans, 2 Valentines, and an SU-85. So quantity for sure is on side of Gonzo, but quality, with already base veterancy on all these tanks, for example, is on side of Karma. And Karma gets another SU-85 in with 1-star veterancy. Luck 3, again, not able to kill the P2 itself, but might be able to softening it up enough for the 37mm to get a kill. That would be really helpful for Karma here. Loses the Luck 3, but gets the P2, and this is really a key victory in disguise here. Luck 3, not important at all in this stage. P2, absolutely insane in this value. And getting the kill there is such an important victory. Oh boy, this is an interesting fight. Because Valentine's deal next to no damage to 52Ps. 52Ps also don't deal much damage back, but I think in a 1v1 situation, the 52P actually might get out victorious with its 8 damage cracking up the Valentine at some point. Looks like the Valentine at least got some damage already. So the model is a bit scratchy from the get-go. So I'm not quite sure if it actually got some HE damage done or not. Quite hard to see. Another reason why we should get HE indicators for tanks and planes, so that fights like this are a bit more readable and new players can understand it a bit better about the damage of 52Ps against tanks, or mortars against tanks, or AA pieces against planes, all of that. And then we also maybe could help Eugen better out with balance by us figuring out the numbers a bit better. Because at the moment it's a bit more of a guessing work for the balance team about like how much damage something actually does and how good it actually is. And the game already has enough hidden stuff as is, and enough stuff, things happening that this thing really doesn't need to be hidden. Karma gets another T-34 kill, which at this stage of the game is really important. Even gets the Retrovedka back out of it. And now brings in infantry, and Gonzo seems to be out of infantry. So this might be deadly for Gonzo now. This might be deadly for Gonzo. Especially now with another off-map here coming in on his units. And yeah, he is out of infantry. What does he do against the Guardians pushing in here? 52P trying to push in over here, but Karma is ready for that as well. Gonzo's getting desperate. Karma has the deeper deck, and it looks like Karma is getting away with this. Playing a defensive fight for the better part of the last 30 minutes here in the south. But now it looks like he's breaking Gonzo. Because Gonzo's deck seems to be nigh empty. And he for sure doesn't have any infantry left. Otherwise he would have brought in more of it earlier. Maybe he has some artillery leaders, but that's not what will stop 8 infantry squads coming up here. 58 minutes into the game. Karma is breaking him. Will be a 13-11 for Karma in a second, and I don't see a way for Gonzo to come back here. Another SU-122, that's the last one most likely in the card. I would expect it to be a B-face card. Maybe we see more, but even then, against so much infantry that will dig in onto all these towns now, on the 13-11, I just don't see it. Even more Valentines and SU-85s also showing up, so Karma still has to seem to have stuff in this magazine, where it's stuff that Gonzo comes up is situational at best. For sure not fitting the scenario that we are in right now. He seems to be out of T-34s, he seems to be out of infantry, and at this point in the game, this is rather critical. Karma now up to a 14-10. More AA coming in for Gonzo against the infantry, but AA against infantry usually isn't too great. Like, you make the enemy think a bit for a while and like maybe stop him for a bit, but at some point he will figure out how to beat it, and then he will do so. SG-43 is now coming in for Karma. This is the first show that he might be also running out of infantry, but he even has MCHAs left. 2 more SU-85s coming up, another Valentine and another MCHA. Yeah, Gonzo was just not able to finish it in time, and now Karma is up to a 59, and that is the beginning of the end here for Gonzo. Damn. Really well played defensive fight here by Karma, and really the mess up with the off-map, I think, was the difference between victory and defeat here for Gonzo in this game. If the second off-map would have been on a better target, I think he could have broken through there. But so many trade-offs in the skies, on the ground, between infantry in the forests, and especially between the tank fights. With Karma prevailing long enough for his deeper deck to pay off. Already in a solid spot at the 12-12 situation, and now Gonzo just being flat out empty, it looks like. 14-10 it is. IL-4s showing up now for Karma. Guess one of them just got bought, the other one was back in action. Trying to go for the ISU-122. At least there's 3 37mm, and if they turn north, they actually might die here. Another 52P showing up for Gonzo. And they're flying too close, so both of them will actually be pinned down here. Bit of a mistake here by Karma to bring in 2 bombers that close to each other. Gonzo actually getting the kill on them. Sloppy play there by Karma, but I think it should still be enough. I mean, Karma's deck shouldn't be too deep anymore either, but now it seems to be enough. 14-10. If Gonzo gets back into this game, I would be rather impressed. Would need quite a couple of slip-ups on the side of Karma. 37mm now under fire by tanks. T-34 over here getting engaged by Valentine. Valentine getting the kill. SU-122 now trying to get the counter kill. If it hits, it gets the kill onto the Valentine, and it does. But still, Valentine for T-34, especially in this position, is a nice trade there for Karma. But Redgar's trying to go deeper. Will engage onto a 37mm. They don't quite have the firepower on this range to win this fight, so they have to disengage. Three SU-85s here now coming up. Only 1 T-34 remaining for Gonzo. Only 2 infantry squads, one being a 2-man Strelky and one being an Oknomachiki squad remaining in the south as well. Whilst Karma has plenty. Even more showing up. And I don't think we have seen the Guardia DPs yet, so that might be a new card. Okay, we have a couple of them down here, but I don't think we have seen too many, so this actually might be still a pretty fresh card of Guardia DPs. And this is really the nail in the coffin, that he still has infantries and tanks to bring in at the 1 hour 3 minute mark, whilst Gonzo is already bringing in the rest of his deck for 5 minutes straight. should be the nail in the coffin. SU-85 engaging the 37mm. Guardia hitting the 37mm here as well. Emcha moving through. 59 here for Karma. 9 minutes on the clock for Gonzo, and I don't think we will see any more of this game than that. Most likely even less, because yeah, there's nothing here to hold on against Karma's forces anymore. He can just push through by now. He gets at least another SU-85 kill. But Shermans will kill off the 37mm here. SU-85 now engaging the SU-122, getting the kill there. Getting an armor explosion there. Volky's trying to get a counter push here for Gonzo, but there's just too much of Karma here, even bringing in 2 more infantry squads. This is it, guys. This is game number 3. Gonzo now with the classic 1 hour 5-minute leader, commander. That doesn't have too many leaders left on the battlefield. To be precise, 0 leaders on the battlefield to spread his command radius to. And also not too many valuable units on the ground to give the 2-star veterancy to either. 1410 for Karma. So Gonzo actually got a flag back by pushing with his 37mm over here. Oh my god. Karma by now is only styling on him with bringing in even 2 more Shermans onto the battlefield. How deep is Karma's deck base? This is insane. ISU-122 getting bailed out, so that's the end of this one as well. And after fighting a defensive fight for 30 minutes, not giving up, getting trade after trade after trade, Karma is winning it in an 1 hour plus game. I expected the Trooper game to be the longest today. I was wrong. Ciano giving us most likely the longest here. I hope so. I don't hope that game number 4 or 5 will be longer than that. And Gonzo surrenders here after an insane fight over 66 minutes and 24 seconds. With the KD being pretty close, a bit in favor of Karma, but really the killer for Gonzo being that he ran out of stuff. But not in a position where Karma was going down, but in a position where it was a 12-12. Like Karma fought his way back to a 12-12 and then Gonzo ran out of stuff. So really VP to both players, giving us an insane 66-minute game of back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. With Karma coming out on top because his deck was built for a bit of a longer game than Gonzo. These bomber kills here are insane. ISU also did pretty well here, killing quite a couple of MTAs and Valentines. But yeah, GGVP here to Mr. Karma in game number 3. Meaning that he is on match point now for game 4. If he wins that, he is a champion. But don't think Gonzo is out just yet. That is the same position that we were in last season, and he fought back 2 games in a row against Karma back then. So he might be able to do it this time as well. So let's don't run away. I will take a restroom break. And then we see each other back in 6 minutes, guys. So here we go. The final game of the day. Or not. Is it the final game? We don't know. Because it's a match point. Kama finally got himself into a position where he can maybe end the series here. In this one amazing, crazy game. I just saw 1 hour, 6 minutes. Get him into a 2-1 position. But as I said, last season it was exactly the same. And last season he was still able to lose. Last season he was still able to lose it in the end out to Gonzo. So maybe Gonzo manages this once more. Who do you think will win it on this lovely Finnish map that we are on? Gonzo or Kama? Kama this time back onto the axis. So after insane allies versus allies, we have it back to the order. Axis versus allies it is. Kama on 12 SS. Gonzo back on 3rd mechanized. He really seems to like that division. Can he win with it here? We saw him earlier before with this division as well. He was able to win that one. And I mean, he just lost against it, so... 3rd mechanized really seems to be a top-notch division at the moment. Pack 40 gets hit over here by the Emcha. But Emcha has to be careful on this range against Panzer IVs and Pack 40s. Not quite sure the engagement you want to take as Gonzo. It's Vanguard versus Vanguard again. Both sides really duking it out. Let's lower the music and let's have a fun fight here. It's Tali in Antala that we're fighting on. So far the votes are 2-2. So, it's damn close. 14-10 here for Kama. Support the guy you favor in this match. Pack 40. If you're a fanboy of Gonzo, if you have been here since the Division Normandy 44, since he brought out the Vinturns, then give him some love, give him a vote. And if you're here for the new Russian guy that showed up last season and utterly dominated the rest of the field, only to just miss ever so slightly taking out Gonzo in the finals, then vote for Kama. MG42 over here. Doing nice and well. Vanguard versus Vanguard. I'm just coming in everywhere. Panzer IV sitting back. And whilst they are fighting over this forest, which is an interesting position, like, there's usually a bit of action around this point, but it's usually not the main fight. Usually, the main fight is either up here or around this sector on the map in most of the games on this map. This time, Gonzo crashed in here, and obviously Kama had to come and fight on his terms, but so far Kama doesn't do too badly. Lost the Panzer IV over here, maybe even 2? No, I think only one Panzer IV taken out over here, but he also got an Emcha already for his troubles as well. 2 Panther Ds coming up, and fighting against those onto this open field will be pretty rough. So, here we go. So, the bands in the last game had been 6 airborne. Again, 3rd US Armored, so both players really don't like that one. 3rd Guards Tank Corps, 28th Jaeger, 3rd Canadian, 7th Mechanized. 3rd Guard Tank Corps. Wait, no. One vote is missing. Where are the other votes? 26th and 44th. 44th being banned on this map is interesting. And then 3rd Guards Mechanized, obviously, and 12 SS getting picked. Again, quite a bit more votes against the allies. Overall, only one vote. One ban against the Axis this time with 28th Jaeger. So, from Kama, obviously, after seeing what Gonzo did with 28th Jaeger earlier against Wesley. But interesting to see so many open divisions on the Axis and then not getting into an Axis versus Axis anyways. I mean, third Guards Mechanized was open, so I guess I'll still pick that. Karma having quite a lot of Panther Ds here. This is a pretty good Axis map, like a lot of open terrain. We have seen quite a couple of good games here for the Axis, but third Guard Mechanized even won on Stusk West, so who knows. Amchar getting popped up here by a Pak 40. Panther Ds sitting in the back. Pak 40 over here died as well. So the Pak 40 is really not doing too well. Especially not on a patch that this game was played on. Because back then tanks and recon vehicles were really good at spotting stuff on the edge of a forest. Got nerfed since then quite heavily by 35% each, I think. Or like between 30 and 40% for all the tanks and vehicles for sure. Not quite sure if it's all 35%, but somewhere around that number. So they're way more blind now again. You need recon infantry now, or at least infantry in front of your tanks to be able to spot anti-tank guns on long distance. Also, quite a couple of the 20mm recon vehicles got nerfed when it comes to their prices. So they will be not as present from now on out. I sadly had to cast these games from replay because I was on holiday when they were played live. 37mm AA coming up back here. Panther Ds joining in over here. Telling off this is 3. The air war is getting pretty interesting. Should favor Karma because Fokker Wolves are way better than P-39s. And Luck 3s can't keep up with them at all. AA wise, I think the Russian 37mm is a bit better than the Flak 36, but not by much. They're both okay, but not amazing AA. And it's really interesting that after other games being for all over the map, this game is really over this narrow part of the map. And everywhere else it's basically silent. Like no push down here on the southern part of the lake, nothing in the north. Even though Karma by now maybe has the forces to push here, like 1 or 2 more infantry units and he should be able to put some aggression up there, but you have to go quite deep here to get any flags. So just getting into this position doesn't really help you that much. Just prevents the enemy from getting into the forest, which is not too bad, but you don't win the game by that. Gonzo gets the flag over here, 13-11 for him, but it took him quite a couple of Amchars to get here. He killed Pak 40s in revenge, so the trades were pretty okay still, but damn, it's bloody. So killing off a lot of the 20mm trucks. More Panzer IVs showing up. Panther Ds over here will rule over the open for quite a while. Especially now if they get AA cover as well. Pisani snipers showing up for Gonzo as a recon unit. And he is investing into the north. And with Averine and 2 Shermans there, he might be able to push through, but will be rough against the Panther and the Panzer IV. He has to get a good engagement. He has to get a good engagement there to get the victory in. Also, overall, people voted more for Karma than for Gonzo. 3-2. So, Gonzo for the first time, not the guy people vote for, I think. Which is interesting. Luck 3 here. Ooh, it might go down through the Flak 36 fire. Yeah. Luck 36 gets the kill with what might have been the last salvo before the Luck 3 got out of range. Pretty unlucky for the Luck 3, but nice kill there for Karma. Who needs it? Because he's down 10-14 now. Gonzo taking the flag over here, and Gonzo's next aggression coming up in the north. It's a similar situation than we saw before when he last time played third. That's Tank Corps, because 12SS, if it gets its combined arms up, then it has the better combined arms. So Gonzo has to prevent that from happening and tax Karma's units time and again, take trade after trade. Even if it's a 12-12 trade, in the end Gonzo will have the combined arms and Karma will not. So at that point he will just push through, because the combined arms for 3rd Guards Mechanized is way more affordable with all the Partisanis, with the MCHAs, SU-76s, compared to Panthers, Panzer Grenadiers, with half-tracks, and PAC-40s, which are all pretty expensive tools in their respective class of unit. Interesting engagement over here. German and SU-76 pushing through. SU-222 is falling. 14-10 here now for Gonzo. Sherman going down here, getting a driver kill onto the Panzer 4J. Panzer 4H following up behind, trying to flank the SU-76. Could get the first shot here. 76 is turning around. Will get a penetration onto the Panzer 4, but will get killed off afterwards. So the push of Gonzo over here is stopped, but the push in the north is still going well. Bringing in 2 Sis-2s now, which will put the Panther under pressure. Ooh, Sherman shouldn't take that engagement though. Gonzo, realizing it that now, just gets out in time before the Panther gets its second shot out, but Sherman got penetrated there once. So we will have to be way more careful now about taking more future engagements. E39 in disguise for Gonzo. PAC-40 here, disengaging just in time for Karma to survive disengagements with the MG42s. Focke-Wulf 190 G3s, 2 of them showing up. Together, ooh, 2 of them plus an A8. Okay, this is not good for the P39, and it will pay for it. Yes, P39 gets shut down. Both Focke-Wulfs get their bombs dropped. This is really good for Karma here. Really good engagement there. Lost his Panther, but the air engagement was really, really important, because now he has air superiority, and air superiority with the 12 can give you the victory. Because all the Focke-Wulf bombers are just so annoying to deal with. This time it's a G1 with 500 kilogram bombs. That one can kill the MCHAs, because they're already low on hit points, so if it hits one of the MCHA is gone. Focke-Wulf now flying as protection for the bomber, and the bomber is going for the Sherman, and that Sherman should be gone after getting hit. There we go. Sherman down. Tiger showing up for Karma. 2 Shermans and 2 ZSU M17s to give at least some AA cover. And we saw again earlier against Wesley already that they can stop Focke-Wulf fighter bombers from getting their attack run through if they are close enough to the front line. They did pretty well back then. Let's see if they do as well against Karma, who seems to be a step up compared to Wesley. Because against Wesley, the games were interesting, but in the end, pretty one-sided in the result for Gonzo. Here, every one of the games so far was quite a nail-biter, with Karma so far getting the better out of it 2 times compared to Gonzo's 1 time. My doorbell just rang, so I will check. My roommate is going for it? Nope. Thank goodness Aniki's getting killed off by the PAC-40. 2 Panthers pushing forward as well. MG42 under pressure. Partisani sniper area getting hit. The Panzer 4H pushing forward as well. Amcha moving in. It's a 12-12. Gonzo lost his position. Luck 3 coming in, but that one is in a dangerous position. No good AA cover here, only 137mm back here. AA from Karma, and always the danger of a Focke-Wulf showing up, putting it out of the skies. Survives for now. More 120mm mortars showing up. MCHA moving forward as well. MG42 is under pressure. Another Amcha coming up, another Guardia coming up. More 222s. More AA. 120mm mortars might be interesting. Because they can kill tanks with direct hits, and they can for sure pin them down. If gonzo can use them correctly, they can be really effective in this fight. And the positioning is a bit awkward. Does he want to use them against the Panthers? Like, why not just bring them up into the forest here then? Okay. Interesting targeting. Onto the MG42. But they're pretty unprecise on that range. You should bring them a bit closer. Like, they have good range, but on long range, on 6,000 meters, they are completely useless. And even on this, which is like 3,000 meters, they're pretty inaccurate already. You really want to use them on like 2,500 meters or so. Maybe even less. Yeah, Focke-Wulf not able to drop its bombs against 2 ZSUs. Even going into black smoke. But gonzo's push here is stopped. So Karma brings it to a 12-12. And starts to get his combined arms on the field. And this is starting to become dangerous for gonzo, especially as he's out of stuff over here. And Karma has quite a bit of stuff here. 2 MG42s coming up. But the forces that Karma has in the middle of the map are worrisome for gonzo. MG42 here, now engaging onto the Partisani. In the north, SDKZ actually pushes back a Sis-2, even killing it together with the Panzer Grenadiers. Yeah, gonzo not getting the best out of the trades lately. 2 fighter bombers now showing up over here. Will take out the Partisani MGs most likely. And gonzo is under pressure. He gets both of the MGs. Gonzo coming in with a luck 3, but with the Focke-Wulf in disguise, that's a dangerous mission for sure. Also 2 AA pieces by now. Focke-Wulf gets a bit of damage onto it, and the 2 AA pieces should be able to kill it off. 37mm may be able to retaliate onto the Focke-Wulf as well. Then it would be an okay trade. Focke-Wulf is more expensive than a luck 3. But it doesn't seem to be the case. Nope, Focke-Wulf gets out. So, a really good trade there for gonzo. Now even taking a really good trade for Karma, I mean. Now even getting units killed in transport. 2 getting killed off here as well. The 3 pushing forward. Off track. Again in an engagement against an anti-tank gun, but this time doesn't go as well as it did against the Sis-2. Getting killed off there. Infantry pushing into a 2-2-2 though. Will not go too well for gonzo. Karma having a really strong defensive line there now. Gonzo now pushing the middle. But he can't go much further there either. And his units over here are in trouble. Flak 41 now showing up to give even better support to the AA and help the Panthers to stay away from any bombs. The 120mm mortars not achieving too much yet. With a direct hit on a Pak 40 they can deal a lot of damage. But as I said, they're just a bit too inaccurate on this range. Sis-2 gets killed off. And it looks like Karma is getting the way better trades lately. Pak 40 is going down to 4 man, but the 120mm mortars are out of shells now. Resupplying truck is coming in. 2 more 120mm mortars are showing up. With 4 of them firing at once at a target, the chances are that you hit them and kill them off at some point, but it's really supplying. It's really expensive when it comes to supplying them. And gonzo has next to nothing left here. Panzer 4 getting killed off by the Sis-2. And the Ds out of HE shells. Not something you see every day either. I mean, they start with 30 HE shells, so yeah. That's firing for 5 minutes straight with HE shells for these Panthers. Rough Ramen in the north. Karma really getting a combined arms here together. And Gonzo is still on pretty much the same composition that he is since the beginning of the game, with the only addition being these 120mm mortars and the ZSUs. But Karma develops into Flag 41, Wolf Ramen, Global Winds, Panthers, Mortar half tracks. Looks really, really rough right now here for Gonzo. Well, the Panthers never got into close range, so yeah, if you keep them on the open field, they do pretty well. The Panther D in the north obviously died against the Shermans, but Gonzo didn't have the forces to break through here. I think the decision to try to go for this position on the flag was too much of... like, it was a gamble. Because this isn't the most unlikely position, I think, to push into with 3rd Mechanized against the long-range capabilities of 12. And it didn't pay off, and he got punished for it. Kind of similar to the El Bowser move yesterday, but like with a bit more nuance to it. Not getting totally annihilated, but taking way worse trades than Karma in the long run here. These Focke-Wulf bombers are really getting annoying here for Gonzo. It looks rough for him, it looks rough for him. I wouldn't count him out here, but losing Sys 2s here now, yeah, this position is just nearly unrecoverable. And he would need a heavy push in the north to turn it around, to like take the pressure off from this section of the map, or at least trade sides, but he doesn't seem to be able to do so. He tries to get in there and gets pushed back time and time again. Wolf Ramen killing another Sys 2 of his. Sys 2s didn't pay off at all in this game so far. Karma up to a 1410, not the Panther D coming up. Damn, this game is going well for Karma. So far it's the... like, if it stays this way, it would be the cleanest victory so far out of the 4 games, if we saw. But, yeah, like, it's hard to not count Gonzo out at this point, to be honest. His 120mm mortars have to have some really nice barrages in a row, like taking out the Flag 41 maybe, and then taking out the Wolf Ramen or something over here, like some really high value targets, or an insane push, like yeah, through the smoke maybe. Like really, we need a Gonzo gamble that needs to pay off big time to get him back on the stage here, because if it goes like it goes at the moment, he just will lose trade after trade after trade, and it will lose the game in the long run. And we are in C phase, so income on both sides is rather limited. So swinging around the balance on the board is key, and he has to do with what he has on the board, and that doesn't look too easy. Like really, these 4 units are the only key to it, I think. And Ooh, already getting shut down. Yeah, it doesn't look like he will go anywhere here either. Panzer IV already showing up in numbers. Put the wolves in the sky. Now trying to hit the Flag 41. Losing assist 3 at the same time though in the south. Panther D pushing in onto the Amcha. Yeah, this looks rough. Funny thing is that the playstyle that Karma plays right now is pretty similar to what nearly didn't make him qualify for the playoffs. Like what, you know, it looks pretty similar to the games where he lost against Grey Fox and JKV, but it looks more refined now. It isn't as many Panthers anymore. It's more Panzer IVs mixed in, and the air play is not as aggressive anymore, where he lost Focke-Wulfs too many times in those games. It all looks more clean. So yeah, he just got in there as 3rd place into the playoffs, with only having 1 more point than 4th place. So it was really, really close. Like 1 more point than 4th and 5th place. But he managed to get into the playoffs and managed to get into the finals, and if it stays where it is right now, he will manage to win these finals as well. Also, obviously, the patch that they are playing on favors armored play quite a bit more than a patch where he tried it before on. Wolf Ramen hitting the town over here. Combined arms of Karma is just so strong right now. I'm already getting hit. Tankers and Nikki's getting hit. Yeah, the 120mm mortar is now getting some nice hits in here, killing off Panzer IV, getting killed off. But it's just not enough. Gonzo is under pressure everywhere, and I just don't see how he can relieve it. Ooh, 6 Valentines, but yeah, he still misses the amazing hits of the 120mm. They didn't take out the Flak 41. He's down on 1 Amcha in the middle right now, till the Valentines show up. And Valentines are more of a defensive unit, like we saw last game from Karma. They're really good in holding against armored pushes, but they're not so good in pushing back, and at this point Gonzo needs to push back. He's down to 12 minutes, 15-9 continues to be on the clock for Karma, and Karma's combined arms only gets better. It only gets better from here on out. 120mm mortars now firing in the north onto the Wolf Ramen. And it looks really grim here for Mr. Gonzo. Our Spanish player in red is in a lot of trouble. Maybe he can get some Valentine magic working, but that's just so hard to see right now. Like, the last couple of minutes weren't in his favor either. It's just every trade going ever so slightly in favor of Karma. Redka getting a kill on Panther D, that's nice. But even now the ZSU's out of ammo and getting bombed. Oh boy. Getting hit ZSU M17's bombed. You know you're in a bad spot. No, when that happens, you know that you're in a really bad spot. Now his 120mm mortars get bombed. And yeah, that's a moment where you can't tap out, I think. Now his forces just lost integrity completely. There's just next to no hope here left. And Karma looks like he's on a way taking revenge for last season, where after he being ahead 2-1, Gonzo still turning it around. Looks like this season he doesn't let that happen. Takes the title on the way he is. And yeah, I'm trying to imagine a miracle work by Gonzo. Trying to shift that around. And if anyone can turn it around, it's Gonzo, but I think Karma would have to mess up really, really big to let that happen. And he's usually not the guy for really big slip-ups. When Karma loses, it's more in a steady way, and losing in a steady way I don't think is really possible at this point anymore. With the air control he has, with the tank advantage he has, and by this time even the infantry advantage he has. Pulling off another tank on the Sanikis in the north, getting a Guardian in transport. Like, this spot is so annoying, heading down the road here. No, you can't really take it from any forest. You have to either drive your own tank into the line of fire, or you have to avoid this whole sector of the map, and this is a really important sector, obviously. So Karma up to the 16-8 and ticking. Well, I wouldn't be that far up. Maybe taking something out of fridge makes the lights go out in your building, and that obviously could still cost Karma the victory here. But yeah, he for sure is on a good way here. Just has to play safe and sound, and then this victory is his. He doesn't have to push anywhere. He just has to see Gonzo trying time and again and failing time and again to take it back. Valentine's here in the forest. Nice idea here from Gonzo, but against a two pack 40s are really the issue for the Valentine here. Like the tanks, I could see him getting through. Like, for example, this Valentine's taking out the Panzer IV. But Valentines absolutely suck against pack 40s. That's why you combine them with Shermans in the third. But he seems to be out of Shermans. Gonzo always building a bit slimmer than Kama in his decks. Well, there comes a Sherman, but yeah, these Valentines will struggle with the pack 40s. Especially as the pack 40s have exactly the right amount of penetration to penetrate the Valentine safely. So Valentine number 1 goes down. Valentines get this one, that was already low. But yeah, that's already one Valentine down. Flak 41 also is good against them. So they might do a bit, but they will not change the outcome of this game. Gonzo is fighting, that's for sure. Now using his 120mm mortars, trying to change the situation over here. But here comes the Air Force again. Luftwaffe is back in action. Valentine getting hit. 120mm mortars are hunted down as well. So that's one less tool for Gonzo here. All his 120mm mortars going down. His combined arms goes lower and lower, whilst the one of Kama stays the same or even increases. And that's never a good sign. Valentine's on the edge of the forest. Now two Shermans try to catch up. At least you got the Panzer IV over here, so the road is open again. Brings it back to 10-14. Pack 40 in the back. Panther D showing up as well. Gonzo really trying to fight his way back here, but it's only 6 minutes on the clock and it's so hard to imagine him getting back here. STKFZ getting killed. IL-2 will not get anywhere. Just way too much AA in this area. Might even go down to the AA fire. Should go down to the AA fire. Flak 41 gets killed. So it might have been... Okay, the Valentines get the kill on that one. But now engage a Pack 40 and a Panther D on long range. Okay, he gets the Panther D. Like, Gonzo tries to make it happen. Gonzo tries to make it happen. Never a guy to give up, but loses the IL-4. Loses a Valentine over here, loses a Valentine over here. And as I said, dealing with a Pack 40 on long range just isn't the thing for the Valentines. So many shots onto his Pack 40 already and it's still not even halfway pinned. Panther D leader also coming up, which also will be tough to crack on this range. Valentines have to disengage. 59 continues for Kama. Valentine in the north goes down. Panzer IV has to retreat. Like, yeah, Gonzo is trying to make it happen. He's really heavily fighting here. Valentines are a nice idea here, and he really... Like, the IL-4 was just a maneuver to try to get the focus of the flags onto them. So really nice idea there, but in the end the trade was still 50-50 at best. Losing the IL-4 and 3 Valentines. He got the Flak 41, he got the Flak 36, he got a Panther and a Panzer IV, so yeah, the investment was pretty even, maybe a bit in favor of Gonzo, but I don't think enough in favor of Gonzo to get him anywhere here. Panther D showing up, sitting over here. Like, the only hope for Gonzo is that Kama runs out of armored forces and then he maybe can use his MCHAs again. And then, like, do it basically like Kama did the last game. But he only has 9 minutes to get it back to a 12-12, and if it goes to a 59 at any point, it is even less, so... It's a dangerous spot. It's a dangerous spot for sure. Oh damn. Yeah, I hope he recovers soon there. All the best wishes out to Kama. Like 40 here. Engaging the Yamcha. Wolf Ramen onto the two Yamchas of Gonzo. This could be backbreaking. Like really, the only hope for him is that he can get rid of the armored targets and then maybe his Yamchas can turn it around. As we saw last game, like Amchas are insane when they can get the right engagements going. But these two Amchas might not go anywhere. He's microing it out. Like, you always can see the Wolf Ramen, so he at least is microing it out now. Maybe he should move the other Amcha forward as well. I gets hit by the Pak 40, so that Amcha is not going anywhere, but at least he will save one Amcha most likely. If this rocket doesn't land directly, no. Okay, so he saves one Amcha, but it's a tough nut to crack right now for Gonzo. Gonzo is really trying. Never a guy to give up. Amcha is engaging onto the Pak 40. Taking 2 men out with 1 shot. Crack's broken on the Amcha. Valentine's now joining in as well. Pak 40 not engaging back. I don't know what happens there. Don't know why this Pak 40 isn't shooting. It's good for Gonzo, for sure, that this is not happening. Otherwise the Amcha might be dead already. But the Focke Wolves killing off Guardias. Amcha here getting hit as well. Damn, he's trying. Gonzo is really trying. 2 more Amchas coming up as well. Valentine coming up. Pak 40 finally got the kill onto the Amcha. And this is a... yeah. The spot didn't get better for Gonzo, especially now that Karma's back to 59 as he's breaking through in the north. Gonzo totally collapsed here. Only having 1 Partisani defending these 2 flags, and it's already under fire. Having no tanks whatsoever left here. Tiger got the Amcha. And yeah, this is it. 3 minutes on the clock. Fighter bombers will come back eventually. SU-76 is now called in the north. Karma doesn't have that much on the field, but it's enough. He traded well enough. And I mean, after all, it's still 3 Tigers, so way more than what Gonzo has. Really, the opening, I think, was the mistake by Gonzo. It was a gamble, and the gamble didn't pay off, and since then he was running behind, and the push in the north didn't pan out as he wanted it to pan out either, and that's how we got here. 4 Tigers on the map now, 4 Karma, a Panther D, against 2 Amchas, a Valentine, and 2 SU-76s. Not quite the engagement Karma hopes Gonzo needs. 2 minutes on the clock for him. There's by now no hope remaining here that Gonzo will be able to turn it around. So, damn, what a Season 5. What an intense final, once more. And could it be a better storyline than Karma now turning it around after the last season? With this rivalry really becoming a rivalry, not a one-sided affair, but like really both sides being able to beat the other. And nice storyline for maybe Season 5 to return to. I'm pretty sure these guys will run into each other, if not in the finals, then at least somewhere in the group stage or playoffs in next season. With 1 minute 15 remaining on the clock for Gonzo. We're getting closer to the finals, to the end of the finals of Season 4. Once more, guys, thanks to all of you for watching. Thanks to all of you for supporting, playing, organizing this tournament. It was a blast, as always, and I'm really looking forward to Season 5. Sign-ups will be up next week, most likely. We also plan a super tournament, as always, in the week before the start, so watch out for that as well, as Gonzo is surrendering here. GGVP to Karma, winning the only clean game of today, or at least of this series, in game number 4, getting himself the title of being the champion of Steel Division League Season 4, GGVP, taking with him the Matcherino first place that at the moment sits at $49.34. Once again, guys, you can still make it a bit bigger on Matcherino by using the code Sherman. Or under the shenanigans, to get a couple more cents in. So yeah, that's how we got here. GGVP. Karma is the champion. Also well played to Gonzo, showing us another great run to the finals. Being a 4 times finalist now in the league, I think. Maybe not in Season 1, but he lost against the winner there as well. I'm not sure if he lost against Sean in the finals or in the semifinals, but he never lost against someone else than the finalist, that's for sure. So he for sure still is the GOAT, but Karma gets closer to catching up. And I'm really looking forward to Season 5 and all the tournaments in between. See you all next time. If you're new to the channel, maybe consider following. If you want to support the channel, consider subscribing. Till then, stay positive. See you next time. I will send you over now to the lovely Mr. that is El Bowser, our Austrian friend, who I think is also casting some League games. So have fun over there. See you next time. Raid channel. There we go. El Bowser, here we go. Bye bye.